follows a landmark ruling by the Pretoria High Court earlier this year, which found that so-called believed consent can no longer be used as a defense by rape accused. NPO, the Embrace Project, who are the applicants in the matter, say the ruling means rape suspects won't be able to rely on a subjective belief that consent was given by a complainant. Embrace Project Director Leanne Germanos Manuel says the Minister of Justice had previously opposed the application.
The Women's Legal Centre has now, for the first time in these proceedings, also applied to appear before the Constitutional Court as a third amicus curiae and is arguing against the declaration of constitutional invalidity and against the need for a change in the law at all.
An official of SAPS's legal division is expected to testify at the Madlanga Commission in Pretoria today. The witness will be the third to appear following the testimony of KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi last week and National Police boss Fani Masemola, who concluded his two-day testimony on Tuesday. The legal expert will be expected to unpack the legislative framework governing SAPS. Oren Singh takes a look.
The legalities around the instruction by Police Minister Senzo Mchunu to disband the KZN Political Killings Task Team is likely to be high on the agenda during today's testimony before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. An official from SAPS's legal division will testify before the Commission sitting at the Bridget Mabanda Justice College in Pretoria. The witness is also likely to expand on the decision taken by National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola to suspend his deputy, Shadrack Sibiya. Sibiya was suspended after he allegedly issued an instruction for 121 dockets investigated by the KZN Political Killings Task Team to be transferred to his office at police headquarters in Pretoria. Masemola claims Sibiya was not authorized to issue such an instruction, further alleging that he did so under the guise of interference. A new witness will be called to testify tomorrow. Oren Singh, Eyewitness News.
Gayton McKenzie says his party is not opposed to forming a coalition with the DA, as he confirms that the Patriotic Alliance has stopped its work with the ANC in the Johannesburg metro. Earlier this week, the Patriotic Alliance threatened to exit its coalition after clearing its deputy president, Kenny Gunene, of wrongdoing in relation to his alleged links to controversial businessman Vusiket Matlala. The PA demanded that Gunene be reinstated as Johannesburg's transport MMC. But speaking on a Facebook Live, McKenzie says working with the DA is now a possibility.
And we will form a coalition with the DA. I'm telling you today, we don't have that thing of now we'll never work with the DA the next election. We will form a coalition with the DA if they're going to treat us like that, this ANC. You can't allow them to treat us like that. They probably think because I'm a minister, they can do what they like with the PA. Eka. You guys got men jokes.
And more than 80 Palestinians have been killed in the latest Israeli strikes in Gaza as world leaders at the United Nations General Assembly call for a ceasefire. Women and children are among at least 20 who died when a strike hit a building and tents sheltering displaced families in Gaza City overnight. The Israeli military says it struck 2 Hamas fighters and that the number of casualties does not align with its own information. Hundreds of thousands of residents have so far fled Gaza's biggest urban center, where a famine was confirmed last month by a UN-backed body, while hundreds of thousands more remain there in dire humanitarian conditions. Since the war began on October 7, 2023, at least 65,419 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli strikes. Israel launched its war after 1,139 people were killed in a Hamas-led attack and about 200 taken hostage by the Palestinian fighters. Israel's war on Gaza has dominated proceedings this week at the UN General Assembly, drawing condemnation from leaders across the world, including President Cyril Ramaphosa.
Shortly after the United Nations was created, the General Assembly adopted Resolution 181, which recommended the creation of 2 states, Israel and Palestine. Immediately after the adoption of this resolution, only 1 state was created, the State of Israel, casting and ushering the Palestinians into a decades-long wilderness of statelessness, characterized by decades of occupation and now genocide.
Ramaphosa repeated that both states should peacefully coexist.
South Africa reiterates its firm commitment to the creation of a contiguous Palestinian state existing peacefully side by side with the State of Israel.
Gold is trading at $3,736.70 an ounce. The rand is at 17.31 to the dollar, 23.30 to the pound, 20.34 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $69.02 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident on the M1 North. It happened near Xavier Street. Delays from the Uncle Charlie's interchange. There's also queuing traffic already on the N3 North approaching the Geldenhuys interchange. While travelling in four ways, do remember that traffic lights are out of order at Winnie Mandela Drive and Leslie.
And in your sports, Sundowns' unbeaten run in the Premier League ends after a 1-0 loss to Arrows. Sekhukhune stays top despite a draw. Springbok Mani Lebok's confidence in his own kicking is on the up. And the smack talk ahead of tomorrow's Ryder Cup between Europe and the USA has started.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with scattered showers and thunder showers expected. Johannesburg starting at 12 degrees, peaking at 19. Pretoria 12 and 21. Vereniging 10 and 20 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The Constitutional Court is today set to hear arguments in a case that could lead to major changes in sexual offences laws, specifically the way consent is dealt with in rape cases.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Seven minutes after 6 o'clock. Happy Heritage Day to all of South Africa. A belated happy birthday wish to Ray White. Ray Mhlophe was in the studio yesterday. I took off the day to celebrate heritage. I wore my isiXhosa outfit. I thought I looked stunning. No Kanya Mdambo. Amoramila didn't like my picture.
She is awful. And you look
How old are we?
stunning.
How old are we?
3.
She didn't like my picture.
And you look stunning. Amo, how dare you?
Please go to Bongani's IG and you will see that I like every picture he posts. It matters not what he posts. I just go ahead and I like it.
How
I
far
even
back?
go beyond liking his statuses on WhatsApp because I don't want this problem that we're facing today.
Okay, but how
I
far
don't want
back
this
have you
issue.
liked his
Yes.
pictures?
Have you liked the ones from 2016? This is all a joke. This is all a joke. I'm not alone, as you can hear. Amuhelang Ramila on traffic. We've got Nokanya Mdambo on business. The producers Baphelile and Siamtanda taking your calls. KG out for the day. Welcome back, Balisa. I predicted this might happen on Monday. I said I'm surrounded by a bevy of beauties in the studio. And here I am. All female brain power putting the show together. Sfisa Zulu is still here. Bless his heart. I'm just so mean, ne?
Do you know what we need? We just need Mandy to be doing the show and Bali Dlamini on the news. Then, I'm telling you.
Go away.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Mandy wouldn't find the time to write the amazing books that she writes. She's got a new book out, and I want to be chatting to her about that in the coming days. Mandy Wiener, the book is called The Deal. It's her latest book, and it really is about the deal that was struck to create the coalitions we now live under, the so-called Government of National Unity. It really is worth a read. On our menu today, Africa tipped as the world's next growth engine. How do business leaders deliver on that vision? An important conversation coming up between 6 and 7 o'clock. And then a horror story out of the Eastern Cape. A pupil fatally shot by others at school. What is going on? Why are children carrying knives to school? What can the Department of Basic Education do about it? And what does it say about the psychology of bullying and dominance in our schools? We'll speak to a clinical psychologist, but we've also invited the department to come in and just share with us what they are dealing with on a daily basis. And then just before 9 o'clock, I mean, I've been saying this for a while, it feels to me there's this new age of theatre exploding in Johannesburg, whether we're talking Joburg Theatre, the Market Theatre, the productions at the Teatro at Monte Casino, even on the Square. Today we're talking to Nolwazi Kwabe, who is one of the cast members of Isiwula, which unmasks hidden truths, promising all of that at the Market Theatre stage.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
All right, so here's a question. I want to know from you, and this is our shout out this morning. We often ask these shout outs as a way of explaining something in the news that we think is worth talking about. I want to know from you, do you have a luxury, a treat, an indulgence that you give to yourself? It might even be a secret indulgence that perhaps your spouse or your children or your friends don't know about. And it could be anything from, I don't know, that special bottle of whiskey that you have every now and again. You just sit down on a Friday on the couch and you think about the week that was, and it's your reward at the end of that week. Or maybe you've got a sweet tooth and you like expensive imported chocolates that you hide from the rest of your household because they won't appreciate what it is that do you know what I mean? What's that secret indulgence that you don't want others to find out about? Amo?
Bongani, I don't want to share my Lindt chocolate at the end of the week. I don't want to share it. And I buy
Where do you hide it?
in my bag.
You know your husband is listening, right?
I hide it in my bag.
Calvin, that's where you look. Go
Right
find the
underneath.
bags. Calvin, go through every one of her bags.
Yeah, it's so delicious. It's delicate. It's amazing. I just love it.
All right. No, Kanya?
I have a few. Good morning. I have a few. The first is, the chocolate. I have a very sweet tooth. Doesn't matter how expensive, any chocolate, and I don't hide it. Always sitting in plain sight. Please don't touch my chocolate. Everybody knows that. That's the one. Not the whiskey. I'm happy to share my whiskey. It's the glasses that I don't want you to touch. It's my whiskey glasses that they're at the back of the cupboard. Ne? I'm short, so if I can't reach them, I know you won't be able to see them either. I put them there at the back. Don't touch those. I use those when I am de-stressing. They're for me.
Crystal glasses.
These gorgeous ones, and I'm pretty sure. I've had them for a couple of years, and I'm sure there's better looking ones on the market now.
Please take a photo and put them on your Instagram because we want to
today.
see.
I'll remember later today.
And tag us.
I will share the other the normal glasses that are sitting right in front. You can take
Because when
those.
I come to your house, those are the ones I want. My father used to insist on being served in the dishes, the ones that used to be with display.
Yes.
Remember when they display?
A cabotin.
And he'd be like, I'm the Mandela of this house. Because who are you saving them for? Mandela, right? Mandela's never coming. I'm here. I want to eat from those.
We room divider.
And
That's
the
the
display. You have a secret indulgence? Send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072 702 1702.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
I do want to give you up to speed with all that was unfolding at the United Nations General Assembly in New York this week. I want you to listen to this really impassioned speech by the Slovenian President Nataša Musa, accusing world leaders, world powers of ignoring atrocities and warning that the global system is collapsing under hypocrisy and self-interest. It's the conversation we had with Vincent Magwenya on Monday about whether or not there still is a relevant place for the United Nations.
Let me end on a personal note. For the sake of future generations, to fulfill our responsibility as human beings, to ensure that we are on the right side of the history, we should do the right thing. We did not stop the Holocaust. We did not stop the genocide in Rwanda. We did not stop the genocide in Srebrenica. We must stop the genocide in Gaza. There are no excuses anymore. None.
That is the Slovenian President Nataša Musa. At the UN this week, Donald Trump, the US President, took aim at a number of world leaders, but specifically, which I thought was quite interesting, London's Mayor Sadiq Khan. He called him a terrible mayor, said that he wanted to bring Sharia law to London. Khan, of course, who was a Muslim, did not hold back in his response against Donald Trump.
I think President Trump has shown he is racist, he is sexist, he is misogynistic, and he's Islamophobic. One of the advantages of having a special relationship with the USA is obviously when it comes to trade, when it comes to military alliances, when it comes to other areas where we work close together. But it should also mean you've got the confidence to call them out when they're wrong. I think President Trump is wrong in many, many ways.
He spoke in London, did the Mayor Sadiq Khan, saying real friends should be able to call each other out, which you might say is a clear contrast to what the British Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, has been doing.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702. Let's walk the
16 after 6, Nokanya Mdambo, you've got a question of your own?
I do. I'm so curious to find out this morning, when you are a guest at someone else's home,
Yeah.
what for you makes them a bad host? What qualifies them a bad host? Is it when they don't offer you food or drinks when you arrive? Is it because they don't share their Tupperware for you to take leftovers when you go home and bakfagele in a plastic instead of Tupperware or something bizarre or something bizarre like that? So what makes them a bad host for you?
If the food takes too long to arrive,
Okay.
like don't invite me for lunch and you're still cooking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe you're still putting final touches to the salad or whatever, but
It must be close
food
to
must
ready.
yeah, food must be ready, or otherwise
You're going home.
No, I'll just judge you.
Amu?
If you're not ready to receive me, so if I come in and the house is still looking like a mess, you have not taken your bath yet, it doesn't look like you were ready to have me as your guest.
Yeah.
So I don't take well to that at all.
Does that qualify when you're visiting family though? Like
I mean,
close
they knew
people.
that I was coming.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not a surprise. I didn't just, come in unannounced.
Now I must sit
So-
alone on the couch watching your TV whilst you still take a bath.
I don't mind that at all, especially if I'm visiting someone close. My sister, for example, I'm happy for you to go about your business as long as I've got food and I'm on the couch with your remote. Go about your business.
Okay.
I'm getting side looks.
Well, look, I mean, there are formal visits and there are informal visits.
Yes.
I would imagine what you're referring to is more when you say to your sister, hey, I'm popping by on Saturday or whatever the day may be.
Yeah.
That's a less formal occasion.
Sure.
But if you're inviting us to dinner
Yeah.
for the first time,
Be ready, fair.
please,
Fair.
some belief.
702.
Weather.
18 after 6, a cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. Scattered showers and thunder showers are expected. Temperatures will peak at 19 in Joburg. Pretoria 21, for Eniging 20 degrees. Cape Townians, you've got clear skies today, a high of 22. It's 19 for Gqeberha and Durban and 20 for East London.
EWN Traffic.
Now, this Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo?
Well, Bongani, in Omondi, we've got an accident on the M1 North. It happened before Xavier Street. Delays coming out of the Uncle Charlie's interchange. There's also queuing traffic along the Mike 1 North. This is now heading towards Braamfontein, coming out of Boyson's Road towards Carr Street. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North, and this is due to the roadworks that are taking place right near the Baklu interchange, bound to cause delays coming out of Marlborough Drive. Please be on the lookout there and drive with care. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a family driving to their new home, carrying boxes stacked with plates and toys and memories. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a new beginning, a fresh start on the move. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702. Serving the 702 family in 702 land, including those of you in Kempton Park. Kempton Park was established in 1903 when Carl Friedrich Wolff subdivided a portion of his Zierfontein farm into residential stands and named it after the German town of his birth. Apart from suburbs, Kempton Park is also the home of many chemical and manufacturing industries, the Kelvin Power Station, and OR Tambo International, Africa's busiest airport. 702. Let's walk the talk across 702 land, including Kempton Park.
Sell your car now and get paid instantly. There's no waiting when it comes to We Buy Cars. Simply complete the online form on webuycars.co.za to get started. Looking for your next ride? Explore thousands of vehicles with finance and all the extras available online and in store. So whether buying or selling, We Buy Cars has what you need.
We're gonna make insurance great again. We're gonna build a wall around high premiums. A big wall. The best wall. And guess what? You're not paying for it. We're gonna grab poor service by the policy. It's gonna be tremendous. Believe me.
This message has absolutely nothing to do with the US government. It's paid for by the King of Insurance, who's making insurance great again. Get a quote now. It'll be the best decision, people are saying, ever. King Price is a licensed FSP. No fake news, just like her insurance.
Medical care, like music, needs continuity, a steady rhythm and pattern. Patients attended to on time. Medication taken as prescribed. Cut the rhythm, and it falls apart. Right now, global funding cuts are restricting access to healthcare. With your support, Doctors Without Borders can continue to provide medical care to communities worldwide. Because medicine, like music, only works when uninterrupted. Doctors Without Borders, we go there.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 1 kg stock country spread 40% medium fat spread tub for $45.99. Save 12 Rand with Spar rewards, or 2-liter Coca-Cola regular only. Buy 2 for 42 Rand. Save 14 Rand with Spar rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million Rand in instant cash. Competition ends 7 October. Prices valid 23 September to 7 October 2025 while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
For the first time ever, the G20 summit is being hosted on African soil, a global moment of solidarity, equality, and sustainability with Africa at the center. Tune in tomorrow between 6 and 9 a.m. for the G20 Correspondence Desk on 702. It's brought to you by RMB and FNB, proud sponsors of this year's G20 summit. So get all the latest news, views, insights, and breakthroughs from the summit as it happens. The G20 Correspondence Desk on 702, brought to you by RMB and FNB, divisions of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
22 after 6, we're taking your voice notes on 072 702 1702. We've asked you 2 questions this morning. What makes someone a bad host in your view? They don't offer you food or drink. They're not ready with that food or drink when you arrive. They're still going to take a bath and put on their makeup. The house is a mess. What makes someone a bad host? And we're also asking you about your secret indulgence that you refuse to share. Is it your special whiskey? Is it your special fragrance? What is that secret indulgence you refuse to share?
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
23 after 6, things you need to know at this hour. Let there be light, hey? The Minister of Electricity and Energy, Dr. Josienzo Ramakgopa, set to host a media briefing. So what they're going to try and do is deal with what we call load reduction. The country is quite far away now from load shedding, but there are many areas where we have seen local networks face excessive strain, and often during peak demand, where losses or illegal connections put infrastructure at risk, then people are without electricity. At a briefing, the minister will outline the concrete steps to be taken to eliminate load reduction. I'm curious about what he's going to say when it comes to illegal connections and people who are not paying their fair share, and whether those individuals will still be allowed to have free power, as it were. The case of the woman accused of driving a car through a crowd of teenagers. Remember we told you this one. She killed 15-year-old Pretty Mahlangu. That returns to the Germiston Magistrates Court. Today, proceedings focus on further investigations, with Mahlangu's grieving family hoping that the charge of culpable homicide will be upgraded to murder. This was the one where these children were attending an umhlonyane ceremony, a traditional Zulu coming-of-age celebration, and this motorist just drove into the crowd, despite being warned not to do so. People banging on her car saying, "Hello, you're going to kill someone." And she said, "No, I just got scared," because, as they came closer to me, I just thought, let me just drive, because I got scared. Well, that case returns to the Germiston Magistrates Court today. Listen to this. A rose, would it smell as sweet with another name? The Mpumalanga legislature has approved a motion to rename several prominent landmarks. The Kruger National Park, now set to become the Skukuza National Park. The Kruger Mpumalanga International Airport to be named after D.D. Mabuza. Do you welcome that? The Kruger Park. Do you think of it as this recognized international brand? Why would you get rid of the Kruger Park? Or do you say, hang on, we know who this Paul was, and he wasn't an to all of us. Aren't there some things that you leave alone? I mean, the animals are still going to be there, you could argue, whether it's Skukuza. But the Kruger Park, that name apparently set to go. Adam Gilchrist has a story coming out of India, a daring, dangerous journey. A young Afghan boy, believed to be about 13, traveled from Kabul to Delhi by hiding in the landing gear compartment of an aeroplane. Did he survive? Adam Gilchrist will tell us just after 8. Today marks the 57th birthday. It marks the birthday of several entertainment icons. The actor rapper Will Smith turns 57 today. The comedian and actor, I suppose, Danny Glover, is also celebrating his birthday today. And Hollywood power couple Catherine Zeta-Jones, who's 56, and her husband Michael Douglas, who's 81, also share the spotlight today. I'm going to play you a clip where it annoys Catherine Zeta-Jones that she shares her birthday with her husband. Hence the question about the secret indulgence.
702.
The newspapers.
Swisa Zulu,
Good morning.
Good morning. Do you have a secret indulgence that nobody must touch when they come to your house?
Not quite. I'm quite a sharing person. I share everything of mine. I don't have anything that I keep to myself.
Oh, you're such a nice man, such a nice person.
Yeah. So in the international fronts in the newspapers today, we start with the Boston Globe with a story that begs the question about venting at the wrong place. They're running a story about Donald Trump, who was at the UN Nations General Assembly earlier this week, where instead, a lot of people are criticizing him for this. They said that, look, he did touch on the big issues that are happening globally, but then he touched on other issues that he shouldn't have ventilated at the UN Nations General Assembly. For instance, where he personally insulted the mayor of London, the Muslim mayor of London, and he bashed allies and foes around the world, and he questioned whether the United Nations should even exist. And a lot of people saying, my guy, this is not the place nor the time, seeing everything that's happening in the world, and you are a leader of one of the most powerful countries in the world. You should have just stuck to the important issues that are being addressed there.
The Citizen today, Kruger Park new name row. From Skukuza National Park to Didi Mabuza Airport, the EFF's Heritage Day motion draws fire. You can imagine AfriForum are going to have a view on this name change. What are your thoughts on it? Kruger, no longer to be called Kruger, but Skukuza Park? Yeah. Ukukuza in isiXhosa is to, you know, when you really eat the bones.
Yeah.
Right? Tambo, you kukuza the tambo.
Yeah, you hlafuna it.
But no, it's more than hlafuna. It's like when you trying to get to the marrow.
Oh.
Kukuza
And does it mean the same for isiZulu?
I'm sure this is probably isiZulu or isiswat, which might mean something else.
The area, I think the area there's an area called Skukuza, which is next or close to the Kruger National Park.
It may be that.
Yes.
It may be that's what it was always called, right? But I just thought Ukukuza and the bones and the prey and the hunters. You see where I'm going with that? Front page of the Business Day. South Africa warns US it is seeking new markets, even as it pushes for Washington to renew the African Growth and Opportunity Act. The front page of the Sowetan, no rest for the dead. Families fear erecting expensive tombstones for their loved ones because vandals are breaking them and smashing them to the ground to dump rubbish. It's quite an unbelievable story.
EWN Business.
Lokanya wants to know, when you visit someone else's home, what makes them a bad host? No food, no drink. I think I'm not compelled to give you my leftovers in a Tupperware. You get a plastic ice cream. Thank you very much.
Don't blame you.
Sharing a Wi-Fi password. I think, when we all had those little dongles 10 years ago, perhaps, but not now.
Yeah.
What prompts the question?
So the World Travel and Tourism Council says the U.S. is on track to lose a staggering $12.5 billion in international visitor spending this year. The significant shortfall represents a 22.5% decline compared to the previous peak. The loss won't be felt by travel and tourism alone. Of course, communities, jobs and businesses across all states will also be affected. According to the study, the U.S. is the only country among 184 economies forecast to see international visitor spending decline in 2025. The last report from the U.S. Department of Commerce on international travels for March 2025 says there's been a drop in inbound travel from the key source markets. The UK arrivals down nearly 15% for the year, Germany down more than 28%, and South Korea also down 15%.
Goodness me, they should come to South Africa. You can't not see Trump in all of this.
Certainly can't, Bongani. So experts actually say that it's Trump's tariffs and the immigration crackdown that have alienated travelers from other parts of the world. They say Trump's hardline policies, like reviving a travel ban targeting mainly African and Middle Eastern countries, tightening rules around visa approvals, and ramping up mass immigration raids, make the U.S. a stricter host for visitors. As a result, experts say Trump's policies have made him a bad host, driving down tourism into the U.S.
The New York Times now reporting that they're going to be checking what you say on social media about Charlie Kirk to let you in or to let you stay. Where's the rand?
Still a little weaker today than it was yesterday, 17.32 to the dollar, weaker again than it was yesterday. 8% stronger, in fact, though, than a year ago, 20.35 to the euro, 23.31 to the pound. Gold is trading at $3,734 an ounce, platinum at $1,472. The price of Brent crude at $69.10. More business after 7.
Time now for your latest eyewitness news. And I'd imagine this is going to be really topical ahead of the festive season. Sfisa Zulu, tell me about road safety.
That's right, Bongani. Good morning. The Transport Department in KZN is set to announce urgent safety interventions for scholar transports following a series of road crashes that claimed the lives of 5 children. Transport MEC Siboniso Duma is expected to outline the department's response during a media briefing at the provincial legislature in Pietermaritzburg today. Planned interventions include strict regulations for vehicles, transporting pupils, increased law enforcement visibility, and targeted roadworthiness inspections. Transport Department spokesperson Dabezinhle Sibia.
The MEC has invited members of the fourth estate to a The MEC has invited members of the fourth estate to a media briefing that will reflect on strengthening of law enforcement to deal with the violation of the National Road Traffic Act. The MEC has also indicated that in the media briefing, he will outline interventions on scholar transport following accidents that resulted in the death of 5 learners in Pietermaritzburg.
The Workers' and Socialist Party, along with its youth wing, is calling on workers to occupy factories and mines facing retrenchments, demanding they be expropriated and run under democratic worker control. The organization says South Africa is facing a jobs bloodbath and a deliberate class offensive by business and the state. They say mass layoffs in sectors like steel, automotive, food, agriculture, mining and public services mark an historic deindustrialization of the country. The organization spokesperson Mametle Sibei also pointed to job losses at state-owned entities such as the Post Office, Transnet and Denel, all of which are undergoing reductions.
The reality we must face is that the capitalist system has not only failed in general, which has been the case for a long time now, it has now entered a particularly turbulent period of deepening economic crisis, of stagflation of the past decade and a half, in which the economy has failed to fully recover from the Great Recession of 2008-2009.
2 men arrested for possession and suspected dealing in Dagga are expected to appear in the Makhado Magistrates Court today. The pair, aged 20 and 45, were caught by the SAPS flying squad during a routine crime prevention patrol on the N1 in Limpopo earlier this week. The police's Bongani Mashaba says officers stopped a car and during a search discovered 2 bags of Dagga in the boot.
The pair are expected to appear before Makhado Magistrate Court on Thursday, the 25th of September 2025, for possession and dealing in Daga.
And 7 Buddhist monks have died in a cable car crash. The rail car snapped and crashed down a mountainside in northwestern Sri Lanka. 13 monks were crammed into the small makeshift cabin as they headed to meditation units or meditation units within the vast New Ayana Forest monastery last night. The deceased were from countries including India, Russia and Romania. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with scattered showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 10 and 12 degrees, peaking at highs between 19 and 21.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident on the M1 North in the Omondi area. It's right near Xavier Street. Delays from the Uncle Charlie's interchange. If you are traveling in Rivoli, we've got an accident reported along the N17 east right as you approach the N1 turn off, and it's causing delays.
The top story, KwaZulu-Natal's Transport Department is set to announce urgent safety interventions for scholar transport following a series of road crashes that claimed the lives of 5 children.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Swing into spring with Hollywood Vet Spinner Zonke, where a sea of floral fun, epic adventures, and blooming beautiful games await. Reap red-hot riches and whimsical wins with our sparkling spring-themed slots. The season's luck is in full bloom, so dive in and grab your chance to unravel an endless supply of thrilling treasures and claim sensational rewards when you bet now. T's and C's apply.
Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008.
Before a masterpiece takes shape, there's a single line that starts it all, until every curve and every angle reflects the clarity of a single vision. And only then does inspiration take its final form. The all-new Audi A5, designed to inspire. Starting from $14,499 per month with a guaranteed future value. Visit audi.co.za or your nearest dealer for more. T's and C's apply.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Bongani and the team, Bradley here from Randburg. With the name change, honestly speaking, I think it's not the right path to go. I mean, it is National Kruger Park. National. So how can you change a national park to someone's name? It's not doable. It's not doable. It's not the right move, honestly. It's not the right move. Thanks, guys. Nice show as always.
Morning, Bongs and your team. Skukuza Bongani is a Tsonga name. I come from that part of the world in Bushbuck Ridge. But to change that name Kruger National Park to be Skukuza, very interesting. In fact, I guess Skukuza is an original name of Kruger National Park. Most of us, when we were growing up, we used to call it Skukuza. So interesting part that is happening in Mpumalanga as the legislature has passed a motion to change the name from Max in Pretoria.
Max in Pretoria, I mean, it certainly set the cat among the pigeons. This was a proposal in the Mpumalanga legislature to change the name of that beloved national park from Kruger National Park to Skukuza National Park. And it's raising all sorts of questions. John Steenhuisen, the agriculture minister, quoted in The Citizen as saying the legislature doesn't in fact have the mandate to do so. That is done as part of a predetermined process that must involve public participation. Do you support it, yay or nay? No longer Kruger Park, but Skukuza National Park. Do you think it's one of those that is such a brand SA thing that tourists and visitors from all over the world might be confused and no longer come? The animals will still be there, regardless of whatever it's called, right?
EWN Sports.
Cindy Peluta, there was a
Bongani.
time where we thought this team was impossible to defeat.
Yes, it was 3 weeks ago.
Mamelodi Sundowns suffering a loss. Shock, horror.
And we've been, well, not we, I've been saying, because I don't want you to go down with me. But it would be so nice if Sundowns just slipped a little so that we could have an exciting, we're okay if they still win it, but we'd like an exciting finish to the league, right? Well, turns out
Play with our hearts a little bit.
their unbeaten run in the Premiership is over. They lost 1-0 to Golden Arrows last night. Dion's goal in the 30th gave Arrows a first win over Sundowns in 5 years. Here's Arrows coach, Ngoba Mngiti.
I'm only unhappy with the number of goals we have, because I think in this game we could have scored so many goals. But credit must be given. We're playing against a classy team that always scare you in some moments. But I'm just happy that these boys, they got a result in such a big match, because the way these boys have played against the top 4 teams, I don't think they deserve the return of the points that they got.
Top of the table, Sekhukhune came from a goal down to draw with second from bottom Chippa 1-0. Kaizer Chiefs were held 1-0 by Galants, Clifford cancelling out Mayo's opener. Stellenbosch goal was Durban City, Richards babied Magesi 1-0. Newcomers Orbit College 1-0 win over Polokwane. In the League Cup last night, Man City beat Huddersfield 2-0, Spurs beat Doncaster 3-0, Arsenal with a 2-0 win over Port Vale, and Newcastle cruising to a 4-1 win over Bradford. The Springboks battle Argentina in Durban on Saturday at 5. Mani Lebok starts on the bench and says his confidence in his kicking has improved.
Obviously, I put a lot of work in with my kicking. Since when I was struggling with it, I pride myself in try to get it right, and I did everything in my powers to obviously get it right. And I'm just happy it comes together now. The hard work is paying off now. Yeah.
In netball, Silver Ferns won the Test Series, 1 game to go, beating Spa Proteas 70-58 in the second test. Coach Jenny van Wyk was impressed with the team's opening quarter and says it shows they can only get better.
One of the main concerns there is that we had a 6-point lead, and then we became a little reckless with the ball in hand. That could have put us in quite a different position moving into the second quarter. But the main thing for me is if they can give me 10 minutes of that, they can give me 30 minutes of that, they can give us an hour of that.
And the 2025 Ryder Cup starts tomorrow at Bethpage Black in New York, with Europe the defending champions. Captain Luke Donald knows this time will be very different to the winning experience in Rome, as his players will have to contend with the rowdy America crowd.
There's a bunch of us in our team that have experienced away crowds, maybe not New York, but we've certainly talked about it as a group. You know, what you've learned. The crowd factor is certainly one aspect that I've been looking at. But I've been trying to look at this from a very different angle, and that's just one element of the preparation that's going into kind of making sure that these guys are ready to be at their best.
Cindy Peluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
My name is Lumkochi. I attended Zitemben Primary School. When I grow up, I want to be an engineer. I can't wait to play with Uncle Bongani.
We can't wait to play with you too, Lumko. 10,000 Rand. Can you hear the money? Wacha, wacha, wacha.
Get down to Dis-Chem this Friday 26th to Sunday 28th September for our 1 weekend only 2+1 cheapest free deals on the widest range of sports supplements and energy drinks from top brands like Biogen, NPL, USN, Primal, Optimum Nutrition, Muscle Tech, 32GI and more. Get expert advice from our in-store consultants to help you reach your health and fitness goals. Excludes all advertised products. Only at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
Naked people never skip leg day. Because naked people spend less time on insurance admin, they've got more time for lunges and Romanian deadlifts. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds. And it's all online, so that means no long phone calls. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start working out. Like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Dreaming of a tropical escape? World Leisure Holidays has your ticket to paradise with exclusive getaways to the Indian Ocean Islands. From the beaches of Mauritius and the Maldives to the charm of Madagascar, Seychelles, Zanzibar, and more, your dream destination awaits. Take advantage of early bird specials and pay stay offers. Call 011-285-2500 and mention 702 for a mystery discount. Or follow us on social media or contact your nearest travel professional. Start planning your escape today. T's and C's apply.
EWN Traffic.
7:15. This EWN traffic is brought to you by Take a Lot. Happy delivered. On the M1 North, there's a crash, Amo.
Yeah, that's correct, Bongani. In Omondi, it happened right near Xavier Street. It's causing delays from the Uncle Charlie's interchange. And if you are traveling in Pennyville, we've got another accident seen on the N17 East. It's right near the N1. It's causing delays from New Canada Road. There's also queuing traffic along the N3 North. In fact, bumper-to-bumper traffic already between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baklu interchange, and that's due to roadworks taking place along that route. I'm being told that traffic lights in four ways are now working at Winnie Mandela Drive and Leslie, but I am seeing delays coming out of Witkoppen Road. Please be on the lookout there. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Traffic is trafficking. The robots aren't AI, but more like an eye roll. And service delivery isn't delivering. Well, luckily, Take a Lot is. Shop anything from beauty and sport to tech and toys. Everyday low prices you'll get, and get it delivered to your door faster than you can get home, even when you use the back roads. A delivery so quick, the speed thrills. Halala with no limits. Just open the road of happiness before you. Take a Lot. Happy delivered.
7:02.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
At the heart of the global conversation shaping the future, Africa's voice matters more than ever. As Africa's largest bank by assets and lead sponsor of the B20 Summit, the Standard Bank Group is proud to spotlight the continent's growth, partnerships and potential on the world stage. Through informed dialogue and powerful partnerships, Standard Bank is driving sustainable growth where it matters most. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Checkers Little Shop is back with 46 new minis. Get one free when you swipe and spend 200 Rand on deals like Twin Saver 2-ply white toilet rolls 24-pack for 159.99 and Clover Butro full cream modified butter spread 500 grams for 79.99. Plus, stand to win a trip to Legoland Dubai. Simply buy any 3 participating products and swipe your extra savings card to enter. Valid until Sunday at Checkers. T's and C's apply.
You've reached in his Renault Duster en route to Dullstrom. This journey is taking to try a sport far more boring than its name might suggest. Fly. Fishing. He'll be in his Renault Duster, which he bought with 40,000 Rand trade-in assistance.
Leave it all behind in the new Renault Duster with 40,000 Rand trade-in assistance. Offer exclusive to Renault Financial Services. Product of APSA. T's and C's apply.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 7:02.
Let's give away some cash, shall we? Today we're playing with 13-year-old Lumko, who wants to be an engineer a little later on in life. Lumko, are you ready to play with us? Lumko, are you there? Oh, I tell you what, let's make sure we've got Lumko on the line. Maybe Palisa, we can take 1 or 2 voice notes and see if Lumko is there on the line. Oh, he is. Lumko, are you there?
Yes, hello.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Must respond, Lumko. Then I know you can hear me. See?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Here we go. Palisa, start the clock. Spell the word student.
STUDENT.
Correct. Does the word entice mean send or lure?
Yeah.
Correct. Complete the saying. The present cost him an arm and a what?
Leg.
A leg. Correct. True or false? There are 5 colors between red and violet in a rainbow.
False.
It's true. In maths, which one is a prime number? 39 or 47?
47.
Correct. In which American city is the Statue of Liberty?
New York.
Correct. Complete the name of the soccer team. Orlando what?
Pirates.
Correct. What is the largest planet in our solar system?
Jupiter.
Correct. Which country is home to the Great Wall?
Japan.
China. Around which very bright star does the Earth revolve? The sun is the answer we were looking for there. Not a bad round. Not a bad round. Lumko, you walk away with 7 correct answers. 7 correct answers. 700 Rand is what you win. Remember, it's 100 bucks for each correct answer and 10,000 rand if you can get them all in 60 seconds.
Babe,
Yeah?
the fridge light finally stopped flickering.
Yeah. I replaced it.
You replaced it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, on your own?
Yep.
You know what that means.
Party! Every excuse is a great one when you've got balloons, bubbles, gift wrap, cards, candles, and dress up.
I'm calling it the Fridge Light Festival!
The Crazy Store. Hey, you never know what you might find to have a good party.
At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 in brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Hola Mzansi, Dr. Kumalo here. The first official Bafana Bafana game is now live at 10bet. With Bafana Megaways from 10bet, everyone can play for Bafana Bafana. Join now at 10bet.co.za.
10bet is a licensed betting operator and supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 shall be permitted to bet. Betting can be addictive. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. License number 921096661.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? And it's brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand is up for grabs. So first 1,000 Rand for an answer based on something you heard on the show. Send that with your name to 31702. Then later, someone will ask a question to get your answer to win 2,000 Rand. You always stand a better chance of being selected if you've SMS'd out to Outsurance to get a quote. So do it now. SMS out to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani and team. Happy Thursday. Very interesting how you want to honor people when they're no longer here. Couldn't they have chosen a school or a street or some main road of some sort? I mean, that is literally our landmark. Everyone knows it as that. And now we're going to have to change the name and confuse everybody else. And now our tourism, it's going to be affected. Some people may not even, consider it. Gosh, South Africa, right? Thanks, guys, for a great show. Shadi Kempton Park.
Morning, Bongs. Morning, 702 Land. Bongs, I, for one, support the change of the Kruger National Park's name. And again, it's neither here or there. Whether they change it or they don't change it, it doesn't eliminate the fact that Kruger National Park is one of our biggest tourist attractions. And it doesn't change the running of the place or what the place stands for or what the place is. So it is what it is, I guess. At the end of the day, I mean, we don't go to the UK and find the Zigalala National Park, or we don't go to America and find Motel something. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, nothing wrong. It is what it is, I guess.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
It is what it is. Onto this now. The continent is often called the world's last growth frontier. But what does that really mean? We've got challenges all around Africa, political instability, skills shortages. But we're told the continent is buzzing with opportunities from tech to sustainability to international trade. So a new global C-suite barometer 2025 by Forbes Mazars shows that the African business leaders who are playing a role on the continent aren't just hopeful, they're setting bold strategies that could reshape the world economy, from AI innovation to homegrown solutions in agriculture or even fintech. Sebastian de Plaas is a partner at Forbes Mazars and joins us now. A very good morning to you and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Good morning, Bongani.
So, this global C-suite barometer 2025, Africa, the last great growth frontier. How critical is this moment?
Yeah, thank you. So, it's interesting to see that when we interview the leaders in the world, we see that most of them are quite positive on the future. They think that their business will grow in the next 5 years, 90% of them. But in Africa, we are even more positive. 95% of the leaders in Africa see their business growing, and one on the opportunity that they see is to grow in Africa. We all know that the population of the continent, which is 1.5 billion people today, should be at about 2.5 billion in the next 25 years. It will open a lot of opportunities, and us, based in Africa, we see these opportunities better maybe that investors that today are based in Europe or in US, because they do not have the right perception yet on the continent and on the opportunities that we have here.
I suppose one of the opportunities is to leapfrog traditional ways of developing, whether that's in tech, for example. AI could certainly play a role, things like cyber security. Are those areas that we should focus on?
Yes, there are a lot of sectors that certainly will grow. We talk a lot on the continent about fintech. We talk a lot about agriculture. So just on the fintech, we see how already we are in Africa consuming, paying. We see the mobile payment that is very developed. We have a young population that is using phone for almost everything. So we are already developed. There are a lot of new opportunities to grow even more, but it will go and it must go with as well the right training. We have a young population that need to be trained, and it is very important to understand what will be the jobs of tomorrow, but more important, how the companies will operate tomorrow, because we speak a lot about AI today, and most of the companies, most of our clients are implementing a lot of AI tools, but the issue today is how do we connect all the tools. And I can tell you that 95% of our clients are today at a stage where they have used some tools, but they are now struggling on how having all these tools functioning together to have the best efficiency possible.
Yeah, because we talk about this, large workforce. In fact, Africa is projected to have the largest workforce by 2050 in a world that is increasingly thinking about AI and automation. We've also got to think about what particular skills will be needed for that large workforce.
Absolutely. And one of the challenges that we see today is the difference between a diploma that some students get after a few years of study and the technical ability that they have. I've myself saw some school training students to be technicians, to work on construction, and after a few years, they never really worked on what they have learned. For example, welder, after 2 years training on become welder, they never really had the opportunity to use their skills. So they have a diploma, but when they enter in a company, they actually don't really know how to do. So it's very important that today a focus is done on technical training on the continent in South Africa, and the public sector will have their responsibility as well, because we need some financial support for this school, and we need also companies to take students in internship to train them on how to operate what they're learning.
In summary, what is it going to take for Africa to realize the potential of being a global growth engine?
It's very important, I think, to be open that looking at other countries on the continent to expand your activities may be a challenge. Africa is big. You have more than 50 countries, a lot of culture, a lot of language, but there are as well a lot of opportunities. It's important to look at the right local partners when you expand in another country, and there are opportunities to take now before the rest of the world will start to jump on the continent in the coming years.
All right, we'll leave it there. Sebastian Deplace, partner at Forvis Mazars, talking about the potential of the continent for growth in really this century.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
A focus on our schools. A 15-year-old teenager stabbed to death by fellow learners. We're seeing violence at schools on the rise. What can the department do about it? And what's the psychology of those children who carry weapons of death to school? It's a real problem. And it's one, if you're a parent, particularly of a teenager, you should not ignore. It's 7 o'clock.
This is EWN.
The Apex Court could confirm a crucial High Court ruling on rape and consent, and Gayton says a coalition between his party and the DA is not far-fetched. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Constitutional Court is set to hear arguments today related to various provisions of the Sexual Offences Act, including the sexual offence of rape. An anti-gender-based violence NPO says for the first time in the country's history, sexual assault victims could truly be protected by the law. The court proceedings follow a landmark judgment handed down by the High Court in Pretoria related to believed consent in sexual offence cases. Carlo Peterson takes a look.
Earlier this year, the Pretoria High Court ruled that believed consent can no longer be used as a defence for rape accused. NPO, the Embrace Project, says the ruling means rape suspects won't be able to rely on a subjective belief that consent was given by a complainant. Director Leanne Germanus Manuel.
The Pretoria High Court handed down judgment declaring certain provisions in the Sexual Offences Act unconstitutional and ordered a reading in that would require that, going forward, an accused person show that they took objectively reasonable steps to ascertain that the complainant consented to sexual conduct.
Germanus Manuel says subject to the Court's ruling, the judgment could significantly improve conviction rates in rape cases. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
An official of SAPS's legal division is expected to testify at the Madlanga Commission in Pretoria today. The witness will be the third to appear following the testimony of KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi last week and National Police Boss Fani Masimola, who concluded his two-day testimony on Tuesday. The legal expert will be expected to unpack the legislative framework governing SAPS. Oren Singh reports.
The legalities around the instruction by Police Minister Senzo Mchunu to disband the KZN Political Killings Task Team is likely to be high on the agenda during today's testimony before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. An official from SAPS's legal division will testify before the Commission sitting at the Bridget Mabanda Justice College in Pretoria. The witness is also likely to expand on the decision taken by National Police Commissioner Fani Masimola to suspend his deputy, Shadrack Sibia. Sibia was suspended after he allegedly issued an instruction for 121 dockets investigated by the KZN Political Killings Task Team to be transferred to his office at police headquarters in Pretoria. Masimola claims Sibia was not authorized to issue such an instruction, further alleging that he did so under the guise of interference. A new witness will be called to testify tomorrow. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
Gayton McKenzie says his party is not opposed to forming a coalition with the DA as he confirms that the Patriotic Alliance has stopped its work with the ANC in the Johannesburg metro. Earlier this week, the Patriotic Alliance threatened to exit its coalition in the city after clearing its Deputy President Kenny Kunene of wrongdoing in relation to his alleged links to controversial businessman Vusikat Matlala. The PA demanded that Kunene be reinstated as Johannesburg's Transport MMC. But speaking on a Facebook Live, McKenzie says working with the DA is now possible.
And we will form a coalition with the DA. I'm telling you today, we don't have that thing of now we'll never work with the DA the next election. We will form a coalition with the DA if they're going to treat us like that, this ANC. We can't allow them to treat us like that. They probably think because I'm a minister, they can do what they like with the PA. Eka. You guys got men jokes.
And Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas will address the United Nations virtually today after the United States denied him a visa to attend this week's General Assembly in person. The 89-year-old Palestinian Authority president will address the UN General Assembly 3 days after France led a special summit in which a slew of Western nations recognized a state of Palestine. US President Donald Trump's administration has adamantly rejected statehood. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed not to allow a Palestinian state, and far-right members of his cabinet have threatened to annex the West Bank in a bid to kill any prospects of true independence independence. Meanwhile, leaders, including President Cyril Ramaphosa, reiterated the need for a Palestinian statehood.
South Africa reiterates its firm commitment to the creation of a contiguous Palestinian state existing peacefully side by side with the State of Israel.
Gold is trading at $3,736.70 an ounce. The rand is at 17.31 to the dollar, 23.30 to the pound, 20.34 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $69.02 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the M1 North between Boysons Road and Empire Road. There's also queuing traffic along the N3 North between Modderfontein Road and the Baklu interchange due to roadworks.
And in your sport, the top three Premiership sides drop points, including Sundowns, who suffered their first loss of the season. European Ryder Cup captain Luke Donald says his team is playing for more than prize money, taking a jibe at USA, whose players are being paid to compete. And All Blacks without Scott Barrett for Saturday's game with Australia.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with scattered showers expected and thunder showers as well. Johannesburg is at a low of 12 degrees, peaking at 19. Pretoria 12 and 21. Vereeniging 10 and 20 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: the Constitutional Court is set to hear arguments today related to various provisions of the Sexual Offences Act, including the sexual offence of rape.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 after 7, so much on the go. This landmark decision by the Pretoria High Court is going to be finalized at the Constitutional Court today. And essentially the idea that the accused person in a rape case can no longer say they believed they had consent. They are going to need to show demonstrable steps that led them to that belief. They're going to have to prove that consent was sought and given, so it can no longer be something that is subjective in their mind. It can't be that I thought she agreed. There've got to be steps. What those steps will look like, we might hear from the Constitutional Court today, but it is going to be quite an interesting decision. Gayton McKenzie saying no longer cooperating with the ANC in the Johannesburg Metro. This after, of course, the Deputy President of the Patriotic Front, Kenny Kunene, has not yet been reinstated into his position as MMC Transport in the city. It's amazing how these politicians disrobe themselves, if you will, unmask themselves, and you see what their intentions and what they are really all about. We're keeping an eye on developments this week that happened at the United Nations General Assembly. Who's the pettiest person you know? Amo, do you know someone who's really, really petty? I mean, you don't have to give us their name, but this is a person who lets nothing go. No slight, no offense. I want you to listen, firstly, to a moment, a really, really awkward moment in New York on Monday when the French president and his motorcade was stopped going to the United Nations General Assembly. A police officer, so this is an exchange between the French president and a New York City police officer. It's an unbelievable moment. Have a listen.
I'm sorry, I'm the president. I'm really sorry. It's just that everything's in frozen right now. There's a motorcade coming right now. I'm sorry.
If you don't see it, let me cross. How are you? Guess what? I'm waiting in the street because everything is frozen for you. At which street?
So it was a bit, I think initially Macron thought this was a joke, right? Because he's trying to get across to the UN building and the police say, no, you can't pass. We've closed everything for the US President, Donald Trump. But Macron can clearly see there's no motorcade of Trump that's around at that moment. And he says to the police officer, well, if you don't see it, I'm sure you can let me through. He picks up his phone, calls Donald Trump and says, guess what? I can't go through because of you. And of course, we don't hear what Trump says on the other side. A little later on, Macron reflects on that moment, and what was at play wasn't quite a joke. Have a listen.
The way Trump had police stop me on the streets of New York is really disgusting. All of this happened just because I acknowledged the existence of Palestine at the United Nations General Assembly. This affected Trump's interests, and he even thought I was rewarding Hamas. But I firmly believe this is the right way to promote peace. If he truly desires to win the Nobel Peace Prize, he should pressure on Israel instead of letting the conflict continue. My words undoubtedly disobeyed Trump's will, and he got upset when he was hindered, just like a 3-year-old child. Therefore, when I was on my way to the French consulate by car, he had the police stop me to make way for his motor Gaddafi's, was how he tried to vent his dissatisfaction. When I took out my Apple phone to call him, I thought he wouldn't be so petty. I joked with him, I'm waiting on the street to make way for you. However, his perfunctory attitude left me with no choice but to walk to the consulate, which took 30 minutes.
So he walked all the way to the French consulate. I beg your pardon, I didn't have my facts there. Correct. He wasn't going to the UN building. He was going to the French consulate. And eventually he just walked. And he says later that on the way, he was taking selfies with people. He was being greeted. So whatever embarrassment that was meant to cause backfired, because he says, I was actually more the man of the people than Trump was in that moment. But if you think Donald Trump's pettiness is limited only to that, have a listen to this report from CNN's Caitlin Collins. This is about a new presidential walk of fame in the White House. So what they've done is they've put up photographs of all the presidents of the United States until we get to Donald Trump. So Obama's there, the Bushes are there, the Clintons are there, but there's one person who's absent. Have a listen to Caitlin Collins.
President Trump's latest renovation of the White House is underway, but this time it's a new step that takes a dig at his predecessor. Along this colonnade that stretches by the Rose Garden that ultimately leads to the Oval Office, there's a new video that the president's aides posted today of what they have dubbed the Presidential Walk of Fame. There are gold letters above it, and there are these gold frames with each containing a black and white image of all the presidents that came before President Trump. As it stretches down the line, you see Democrats and Republicans alike, from Jimmy Carter to the Bushes to President Obama. But one president's photo stands out in particular. That is President Biden's, because instead of seeing an image of President Biden, they have instead replaced it with the image of an auto pen. Of course, President Trump has been fixated on President Biden's use of the auto pen. He actually even ordered an investigation into it, implying that the things that his name and his signature were attached to were not actually decisions that Biden made himself. Of course, we've heard from President Biden on these accusations from his successor, and President Biden has said anything that has his name on it, decisions on executive orders, pardons, and the like, that was a decision that President Biden says he made himself.
So all the other presidents have their pictures on this presidential walk of fame, except for Joe Biden. They've put this auto pen that he used to use to sign when he made decisions. Now that is petty, my friends.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
What you need to know at this hour, the New York Times reporting that U.S. officials have warned they may revoke visas or deport individuals who have downplayed Charlie Kirk's murder. And it reflects a heightened focus on applicants' personal views. Adam Gilchrist has this daring story of a 13-year-old Afghan boy who traveled from Kabul to Delhi by hiding in the landing gear compartment of a plane. And it is the birthday of a number of Hollywood icons today, including Will Smith, who turns 57. Donald Glover is turning 42. Not Danny, Donald Glover, not Danny. I thought it was Danny earlier. It's not Danny, it's Donald Glover, who turns 42. And the power couple, Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas, also having a birthday, because isn't it cute sharing a birthday with your spouse? I think that would be quite cute, hey? But not everybody's born on the 1st of September. Only the very rare, special people are.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo's eye roll is brought to you by Amo herself.
If there's no amount to define pettiness, I don't know what that is. That is the exact amount of what pettiness means. And who is petty.
Tell us what's happening on the roads.
Well, we've got roadworks taking place on the N3 North right near the Baklu interchange. Delays from Modderfontein Road while traveling on the Maikwa North. Bumper-to-bumper traffic as well between Boysons and Empire Road. And then do remember that we've got that accident that was reported in Pennyville along the N17 East near the N1 exit. It's still causing delays. Please be on the lookout there and approach with care. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Now, 20 years ago, you were driving maybe to your first job. Guess what? 20 years ago, the Outsurance pointsmen were already on the roads, easing traffic congestion. So whether you are an Outsurance client or not, we've all been getting something out. From Joburg, Tshwane, Paarl, Stellenbosch, show the pointsmen love this month and celebrate the 20th anniversary using hashtag pointsmanlove. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out, in proud partnership with 702, a licensed insurer and FSP.
702. Up next.
The big interview.
Okay, truck 7, that has 0 warning lights. Truck 8, it's just been serviced. I guess we're running like a well-oiled machine. Where would I be without MyWay's comprehensive cover for my vans and trucks? Plus, cover for my customers' orders with goods and transit insurance. I guess we'll never know.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. MyWay is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. MyWay. Live your way.
Did you know the CSIR International Convention Centre has over 40 years experience in hosting international, local and national business events? It's located on a tranquil campus in Pretoria East within the knowledge, hub and science diplomacy capital, the city of Tshwane. It's a fit-for-purpose convention centre ideal for your association, congress or other business events. For more information, visit csiricc.co.za. The CSIR International Convention Centre, where smart minds meet.
There's strong, then there's AfriSem Strong. So champion the build with AfriSem Cement, the trusted A1 choice for builders who demand nothing less than superior quality. Crafted for exceptional strength, proven durability, and proudly produced in Mzansi. Because some builds just aren't strong. They're built to last with AfriSem, proud official sponsor to the Springboks.
The Akani Simbine Foundation is dedicated to building brighter futures for children by focusing on sport, education and welfare. So this Friday on 702 Drive, we'll be in conversation with the Akani Simbine Foundation to find out how they're uplifting the next generation and how the Discam Foundation is helping fuel their mission to empower South Africa's youth. Don't miss an inspiring discussion about the power of collaboration. And of course, every time you swipe your Discam or Discam Baby City benefit card, you support many great initiatives across the country. The Discam Foundation, caring for the community. Every swipe counts. Only on 702.
702.
The big interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
18 after 7, he was killed at school. He died in a classroom, murdered by his mates. It's a tragic story out of the Eastern Cape. A matric pupil stabbed to death during a violent altercation at a school in Humansdorp. 6 teens have now been arrested in connection with the case. It's horrifying, it's heartbreaking, but one of the questions we must surely ask is, why are our kids carrying knives or deadly weapons to school? What can be done about it? And what about the psychology of bullying and being bullied in our school? Are we missing something here? Firstly, I've got 2 guests, Dr. Saths Cooper, a clinical psychologist, and also Terence Kala, who is the Department of Basic Education Director for Communication and Research. Let me start with you, Dr. Cooper. I mean, quite apart from who you are now in the public, you, of course, are somebody with struggle credentials. You fought for the society that we have become. The idea of children with weapons at school, does that shock you?
Yes, it does, and at the same time it doesn't, because ours is a very violent society. We one of the most violent societies that is not at war. And we are failing our children at all levels. The system that we currently have is one where there's such great insecurity that kids feel and adults feel that we teach our children the behaviors that they end up with, and that is arm yourself, protect yourself. The gun culture, the knife culture, and other weapons that we use are legion. We've allowed them forever, not merely recently. And it has become dangerous for some of the reasons you've mentioned, bullying, intimidation, etc. But importantly, we have not learned how to resolve issues without resorting to violence. And violence becomes the method of first response rather than thinking through what is happening.
Yeah.
And our system just simply does not allow for that.
Right, because if the adults have to resort to violence to be listened by the leaders in the society, what do you expect their children to do? I'll come back to you, Dr. Cooper. Terence Kala, you're listening to all of this. Firstly, in terms of the figures the department has, are we seeing this kind of thing on the rise, these types of incidents? They often go viral on social media, but what data do you have?
Good morning to you, Bongani, and good morning to the Prof and to all of the listeners of 702. Bongani, we have seen quite disturbing trends in terms of the acts of violence in schools. For us as a department, one act is one too many. And firstly, our hearts go out to the family of the slain learner. Bongani, we have unfortunately seen quite a drastic increase. I think it is obviously in the age of social media easier for it to go viral and for things to be picked up, but the statistics are also showing us at a school level that unfortunately this continues to be quite a large trend. But I think what's important to note is that as a department we do have really proactive steps that we've continued to take. I mean,
Terence, hold on. Before we get to those, and I'm sure you'll let me know what you're doing, what does your data show? How many of these incidents can you talk about?
Well, Bongani, to date this year, we have seen quite a disturbing trend, as indicated. I mean, I don't have a specific number for you, but what we have seen across provinces is a rise in the reporting, particularly in provinces where we do note that communities are unfortunately violent. I think the biggest aspect for us is the fact that it's unfortunately we're unable to divorce schools from the communities within which they exist. So where we do have very violent communities in nature, the schools within those communities do tend to reflect that. So we do have what we have called red zones that we've picked up, and those zones are in provinces like KZN, provinces like the Eastern Cape and the Western Cape, and that's where we try and focus most of our attentions. And I think when the opportunity comes, I'll speak to you a little bit more about those proactive steps that we have been taking.
Right. I'll come to you in a moment. One of the criticisms, Dr. Cooper, is that we no longer discipline our children. We don't raise them the right way. This is why this has happened. Discipline has gone out of the window, both in the home and the school. And people will often point to things like corporal punishment, for example, now being illegal. And they'll say, you see, that's how you end up with kids like this. What's your response?
I think that is a red herring because, you know, if we bring up our children using violence, what do we expect them to do? They learn violence. Violence is a learned behavior. It isn't an innate behavior. We ought to be able to use our cognitive, our reasoning, and other abilities to resolve conflict, because conflict is a part of life that doesn't have to end up violently. But with the images constantly bombarding us on media, all kinds of media, that violence works and that we see it around us. I mean, you turn on any newscast, you turn on any online media platforms, and violence is the order of the day. That violence has been endemic in our society. I've known it forever, and I'm
sure. I mean,
in my 70s.
and I accept that South Africa has long been a violent place for all sorts of reasons. It's not the first time that, we are hearing of kids who almost walk over bodies on their way to school. That's what it was like in the years of struggle, for example. The 6 suspects that have been arrested in this case are aged 16 and 17. These are children.
Yes.
Right? These are children. How does the justice system begin any sense of accountability? And is rehabilitation even possible?
Well, the first question you asked, the justice system deals with this as a criminal matter. We're not looking at the causes that lead to these children doing what they should. I recall just over a month ago in KZN, I think it was in KwaMashu, there was a police raid in schools. Now, I know in the US, for instance, and in other places, they have metal detectors in schools. That is not the way we should be going. We should be changing the culture for our children. We are failing our children because we're allowing them to learn all these habits which we have. And it's a no-win for our kids because we do it. Our kids will do it. There needs to be a change. I dare say we deal with GBV. That is part of violence. It's a violence that is so ingrained in the fabric of our society. We look at these issues symptomatically. We need to be looking at the causation. And if the school statistics that are available, we can map out that the places where these things tend to happen are not suburbs, generally. And we also call these other places townships, the ones that the three of us have grown up in. But we now live in suburbia. And in a lot of suburbia, this doesn't happen. But it happens in those townships. So why is it that in the 32nd year of our democracy, we still deal with our kids as if they contain a problem? And I'm not meaning only the formal education system that the representative is speaking about. Our entire socialization needs a revamp. But if we've got the kind of examples at the top where people resolve these issues with violence, it becomes part of what we do. So we should actually have a complete rethink. We're failing our children. We should be able to do something very different.
Yeah.
There's a qualitative approach. There needs to be problem-solving skills. The thing we do most in life is relate to each other, but we're not taught how to relate. And heaven knows, we've got things like life skills in our curriculum. They fail us. We need to really relook at how we bring up our children, how we socialize them, and importantly, how we educate them at both the formal and informal levels.
Right,
and those townships should not be the places where this happens, and that's the majority of our citizens by far.
Dr. Cooper, we'll have to leave it there. We lost Terence Kala. We tried to call him back, and I think his phone just went to voicemail. I'm assuming either his connection or his battery died. But it's an important conversation that we must have, and we've got to ask ourselves, are the tools that our children are given to deal with pressures around them, the violence they see around them, absent parents, all of these societal ills, are we equipping our children with the right tools when kids carry knives to school with the intention of harming somebody else, or at least them not being harmed? That tells you our society is broken.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702 Amo. Delays on the N3.
Yes, that's correct, Bongani. An accident reported near Linksfield Road. It is causing delays just as you come out of Modderfontein Road. And then traveling on the opposite side of the road, roadworks are taking place near the Baklu turnoff, also causing delays from Modderfontein Road. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Does your wallet need a break? Then an OutSurance quote is just what you need. Get it today, and if OutSurance can't beat your car insurance premium, ask them for 500 Rand cash. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you always get something out. Get a quick and easy quote today. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. OutSurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
EWN Business.
Kanya Mtambo, let's talk business news now. It's the over 50s who are tapping into that two-pot retirement system. Is this a worry or a concern?
It certainly could be, at least from the part of insurance company Momentum Group that has flagged the high rate of two-pot system withdrawals among members who are close to retirement. This is after paying 5.4 billion rands in claims in the year ended June. The two-pot system allows people to dip into their savings before they reach retirement age or qualify for early retirement benefits. Momentum Group says 350,000 people made withdrawals from their pension savings in the past year. Almost 1 in 5 of those people are older than 50. With many withdrawals being for genuine needs, some were used for what could be considered small luxuries rather than essential expenses. Global Chief Investment Officer at Momentum Investments, Mike Atzett, unpacked some of these trends on the Money Show last night.
And what we've also seen from looking at our own data at Momentum is there seems to be a trend where individuals that have withdrawn from the two-pot system do it again. So there's a cohort. In total, there's been about 2.4 million withdrawals from the system, but there does seem to be a cohort of individuals who, from a necessity perspective, keep dipping back into the savings pot.
We'll look at the local markets now. Bongani, the rand trading, apologies, at 17.32
Did you tap into the two-pot system?
I'm far from the 50s, but yeah, I'm thinking what? 17.32 to the dollar, 20.36 to the euro, 23.31 to the pound. Gold is trading at $3,737 an ounce. Platinum and $1,473. The price of Brent crude at $68.99. More business after 8.
Time now for your latest eyewitness news. Sfiso Zulu, what do you have at this hour? What's the Premier saying?
Well, Bongani Bingwa says more than 100 centres will soon open across the province to deal with substance abuse. He says the move forms part of a wider provincial effort to address the rising number of young people who are addicted to drugs. Speaking during Heritage Day celebrations in Kagiso yesterday, Lesufi revealed that the province currently has the highest number of youth drug users in the country. He says the new centres will operate in partnership with the Departments of Health, Social Development and the police.
It's a number of children that are going through drug abuse. I went through the statistics. They are indeed shocking. There is a generation that has a potential to be wiped off completely if we can't stand up.
2 men arrested for possession and suspected dealing in Dacha are expected to appear in the Makado Magistrates Court today. The pair, aged 20 and 45, were caught by the SAPS flying squad during a routine crime prevention patrol on the N1 in Limpopo earlier this week. The police's Hlulani Mashaba says officers stopped their car and during a search discovered 2 bags of Dacha in the boot.
The pair are expected to appear before Makado Magistrate Court on Thursday, the 25th of September 2025, for possession and dealing in Dacha.
The Workers' and Socialist Party, along with its youth wing, is calling on workers to occupy factories and mines facing retrenchments, demanding they be expropriated during a run under democratic worker control. The organization says South Africa is facing a jobs bloodbath and a deliberate class offensive by business and the state. They say mass layoffs in sectors like steel, automotive, food, agriculture, mining and public services mark an historic deindustrialization of the country. The organization spokesperson Mamohle Sibei also pointed to job losses at state-owned entities such as the Post Office, Transnet and Denel.
The reality we must face is that the capitalist system has not only failed in general, which has been the case for a long time now, it has now entered a particularly turbulent period of deepening economic crisis, of stagflation of the past decade and a half, in which the economy has failed to fully recover from the Great Recession of 2008-2009.
And 23 gold miners who were trapped for 48 hours in a collapsed shaft in Colombia have been rescued. They emerged from the shaft covered in mud but largely unscathed from the ordeal, to loud applause from their colleagues and loved ones above ground. The miners, stuck underground since the early hours of Monday in a shaft 80 meters underground, had been receiving food, water and oxygen through underground pipelines. The mine's ventilation system continued functioning throughout. Mining accidents are frequent in Colombia and claim dozens of lives each year, usually at licensed mines, or rather unlicensed mines, and last year the toll was at 124. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with scattered showers expected today. The temperatures are at lows of 12 and 12 degrees, peaking at highs between 19 and 21.
And in the traffic in the city of Tshwane, we've got some delays reported on the N1 South coming out of the Flying Saucer interchange due to roadworks. There's also queuing traffic along the R80 East Mabopane Highway just as you approach Eskom Pahlele Road.
The top story this hour, Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi says more than 100 centres will soon open across the province to deal with substance abuse.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Would you, General Masemula, tell the minister I am not going to obey that?
Yeah, no, I will tell him that I won't do it. You hear that? I do think that some of us are being too simplistic by arguing that, you should have just said no and resigned. That's not really how life works. How many of you have actually ended up implementing things because your bosses were putting pressure on you? So it's very easy for us to sit outside and say, but why didn't he just resign?
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
The South African Future Trust Summit's Premium Entrepreneurial Showcase returns to the Sandton Convention Centre on the 5th and 6th of November. In partnership with Standard Bank, the summit will bring together entrepreneurs with bold ideas and big ambition. Join masterclasses with industry experts who will share valuable knowledge on relevant topics and seize the opportunity to pitch your business ideas to leading investors. Book your seat now at summit.southafricanfuturetrust.org. in partnership with 702.
Light the fire this game day with a winning lineup from Checkers, like Championship Boerewors thick or thin for just $109.99 per kilo. Coca-Cola Original Taste Less Sugar Soft Drink 2 litres, 2 for 45 Rand, save 11 Rand. And Monster Energy Drink, a 500ml 4-pack for $57.99, save 12 Rand. Light the fire, South Africa, and let Checkers do the rest. Deals valid until this Sunday, only at Checkers.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Anonymous from the East Rand. I've been a single mother since my kids were 2 and 3. And I can tell you now that I've installed in my kids some integrity, honesty, and, not to bully those around you, etc. That comes from the parent. Being a single parent, struggling to make a living, does not cause violence. You've got to be the violent person to install that in your child or people that they surround themselves with. So I honestly don't understand why the single parent thing keeps getting brought up. That's nonsense. There are people around you that can be examples, other of the same gender, older. You have to be the parent to guide the kids. They need guidance. So the parents are failing the kids.
Hi, Bongani, Manford here. This violence that is being taken over by our kids, our children, comes from us adults. You look at the way adults behave on our roads. That's another example. On our roads, it's very, very dangerous. Adults are fighting every day through driving because they know they can't reach that person. So they violently either overtake and stuff and do so many things. People are angry. For what? I don't know. But people are angry and violently doing things towards each other. Thank you.
Firstly, let me respond to the first one. I'll never argue against any child having two parents to raise them. I think that is always the ideal situation, and I can speak as a parent who is single. It's much more difficult to do it on your own. Having somebody there who is a partner that you can negotiate things with, because you as a parent aren't always right. If for no other reason, the other person is there at times to check you and your own motives and responses to what you are dealing with in the home. So of course, two parents are always going to be better than one, but that does not for a second suggest those single parent-headed households are deficient because there isn't another parent there. There are many single parents who do a damn fine job raising their kids all by themselves. And I think when it keeps being mentioned in conversations, I can see how people will take exception to that. But yeah, these kids are doing what they see in society. They see adults behave in particular ways, even if it's a case of threatening somebody who's done you wrong, right? That's what the kids learn, and they think to have some measure of dignity. This is what they must do when they feel harmed, and it's causing all kinds of problems in our schools.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. Your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. So firstly, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. Today's answer comes from Tsulufelo, who is in Mahikeng. Tsulufelo, what's today's answer?
Today's answer is Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. I like today's answer. And tell me, Tsulu, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes.
Oh, you biscuit. 1,000 Rand is coming your way. Tsulu fella there says the answer is Michael Douglas. What's the question? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, it's getting quite crowded at the top of the Betway Premiership. There isn't really a clear, strong starter at the moment, hey?
No, there isn't. And what's amazing me is that the top three teams are all failing to take advantage of the other teams doing badly. So Chiefs, they're third on the table. They got a 1-0 draw with Galanzi yesterday. Table-topping Sekekune 1-0 with Chipper. And then the shock result, Arrows handing Sundowns their first league loss, 1-0. Arrows coach Mangobangiti feels his side's points are not a true reflection of how well they've performed in the last 4 games.
The way these boys have played against the top 4 teams, I don't think they deserve the return of the points that they got. We played, I think, very well against Sundowns. For me, it was a very good performance for the team, which should help the team to start to believe a little bit more in the process. And I'm hopeful that from here we can build something.
Stellenbosch goalless with Durban City. Richards Bay and Orbit College beat Magesi and Polokwane both 1-0. In the Carabao Cup, the 4th round draw has 4 All-Premier League ties. Newcastle against Spurs, Arsenal host Brighton, Liverpool face Palace and Chelsea away at Wolves, while Manchester City got Swansea. In golf, the 2025 Ryder Cup starts tomorrow at Bethpage Black in New York with Europe the defending champions. Europe captain Luke Donald took a dig at the USA team, saying his side is driven by more than prize money. All 12 USA players are being given $500,000, with 300 of that going to a charity of their choice. European players are not paid to play.
We come to you this week not just as individual players from 9 different nations, but as one team. A team defined by history, by unity, and by belief that we are playing for something far greater than ourselves. It is not about prize money or world ranking points. It's about pride. It's about representing your flag, your shirt, and the legacy you leave behind.
The All Blacks don't have captain Scott Barrett in one of 4 changes for their test with Australia. On Saturday, he suffered a shoulder injury. Springboks battle Argentina in Durban at 5 o'clock on Saturday. Kwagga Smith says it won't be as easy as everyone thinks.
Yeah, I think the Pumas loose forwards are mobile. I think that's why they get along on the park and get around the park and make a lot of turnovers. I think the hookers is also good turnover guys making jackals. In general, they're a good pack, they're physical, They come hard, they can run a lot. I think that they're a real good combination of different oaks playing together, and I think that's what's making them competitive.
And in netball, New Zealand beat Spa Proteas 70-58 to go 2-up in the 3-test series. Proteas were leading after the first quarter. Sydney Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Get online exclusive unreal deals for 4 days only at Pick n Pay ASAP and Mr. D. Get Pick n Pay 2-ply white toilet tissue 18s, 2 for only R200. And Blue 52 all-in-one pool care solution for only R99.99. Get hundreds of unreal deals delivered by Pick n Pay ASAP and Mr. D. Valid 25 to 28 September while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
Hosted in Africa for the first time, this year's G20 summit focuses on solidarity, equality and sustainability. Bringing you news and insights from the summit. Tune in to the G20 Correspondence Desk, brought to you by RMB and FNB, proud sponsors of this year's G20 summit. Guided by the spirit of Ubuntu, RMB and FNB empower communities. They're committed to a sustainable future, deeply invested in humanity. RMB and FNB are divisions of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
If you want to know about the heart and art of jazz, look no further than the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Festival, a grand ensemble of over 50 world-class acts across 4 stages for 3 whole days. That's right, from the 26th, 27th and 28th of September. The Sandton Convention Center will be demure and sophisticated as the fine Standard Bank Joy of Jazz 2025 takes you deep into the heart, the art and splendor of jazz. Take me there. Book your seat via Ticketmaster now.
The Akani Simbine Foundation is dedicated to building brighter futures for children, focusing on sport, education and welfare. And so tomorrow on 702 Drive, we'll be in conversation with the Akani Simbine Foundation to find out how they're uplifting the next generation and how the Dis-Chem Foundation is helping fuel their mission to empower South Africa's youth. So don't miss an inspiring discussion about the power of collaboration. And remember, every swipe of your Dis-Chem or Dis-Chem Baby City benefit card supports many great initiatives across the country. The Dis-Chem Foundation, caring for the community. Every swipe counts, only on 702.
EWN Traffic.
The new, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by the new Opel Grandland. With smart tech and striking design, it's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. Traffic lights are an issue this morning, Amo.
Oh, they are indeed, Bongani, especially if you're traveling around on the Witkoppen Road, because traffic lights are out of order at several junctions along this route. They're out of order along the main road. They also out reported at Monte Casino. This is now in the Four Ways area. So if you are traveling within these areas, Paulshof, Four Ways, as well as Lone Hill, traffic lights are out of order at several junctions along Witkoppen Road. And then on the N3 North, we still have got queuing traffic between Modderfontein Road and the Baklu interchange. That's due to the roadworks that are taking place there. And there's more roadworks along the N17 West between Carnival City entrance and the R21, causing delays. Please be on the lookout there and be patient if you find yourself along this mess. We'll have more updates. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Great entrance.
702.
What's the question?
Entrance.
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Arturance. Please tell me what's the question. If the answer is Michael Douglas, let's go to Mageshri in Greenstone. Mageshri, what is the question?
Hi, Bongani. Which actor celebrates his 81st birthday today and who celebrates his birthday with his wife, Catherine Zeta-Jones, who turns 55 today?
You've got all your bases covered there, Mageshri. They've been married for 25 years. How special is that? That they celebrate their date of birth on the same day, although, of course, it wasn't quite the same year. I want you to listen to Michael Douglas speaking with Hollywood Access about his role as Benjamin Franklin in the limited series Franklin. And it's his first period drama after decades, but he also reflects on his marriage to Catherine Zeta-Jones.
When we first got together, it sounded very charming and like a lovely idea. Oh, we'll be together. since this, we're also probably next year going to have our 25th wedding anniversary, too. And I must say, Catherine is getting a little tired of it. I think she would like her day, and I understand that. Unfortunately, on this birthday, she's going to be in Ireland doing the series Wednesday, right. So we'll have to wait until that gets over before we have a little blast. But yeah, that was one of those things that thought, it was when I first met her and found out we had the same day. It was just a match made in heaven. And, But 25 years later, she says, maybe I can have my birthday.
Maybe I can have my own birthday. And that's why we were asking you earlier. Do you have an indulgence, a secret indulgence perhaps, that you don't want to share? It sounds charming. Oh, I'm just meant to be. The stars are aligned. We're born on the same day. 25 years later, it's like, we're over it.
You are the biggest saver we've ever had.
2,794 Rand a month. It was the easiest switch ever.
What was the real deal they could offer you?
870.
That's amazing. You're always getting something out.
Yeah.
I've been battling to get nice car insurance. Outsurance, I found them. I'm saving a cool $360.
Get the real deal with the real savings.
I made the right move.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
Just phone Outsurance, get a quote and see what they can offer you. If you don't save that 321 like I did, you might get a 500 or $1,000 back. Service and savings, you'll always get something out. How is it that Outsurance provided the solution for you?
918 Rand is what I'm saving.
Incredible. What brought you and Outsurance together?
718 Rand. I end up saving.
They gave you the real deal.
It literally is the real deal.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online. Great entrance? Forget that. Make a grand entrance. Grand! Be late, make everyone wait, and be grateful they did. Peeps be rubbernecking, staring gormlessly like deer in your 50,000 intelligent LED headlights. Grand! Make a grand entrance in the new Opel Grandland, designed and made in Germany. Achtung, baby. Grand! It's even got massage seats. Uber grand! Visit opel.co.za for more.
Traffic is trafficking. The robots aren't AI, but more like an eye roll, and service delivery isn't delivering. But luckily, Take-A-Lot is. Shop anything from beauty and sport to tech and toys at everyday low prices and get it delivered to your door faster than you can get home, even when you're using the back roads. A delivery so quick, the speed thrills. Halala with no limits. Just open the road of happiness before you. Take-A-Lot. Happy delivered.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
This is your business. Hooray! This is your business supercharged with the help of zero accounting software. Hooray! This is your business supercharged with the help of Zero, finding you have more time to focus on things you love and not endless admin. Supercharge your business today. Search Zero with an X.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Bongani, I also share a birthday with my wife of 14 years. We were born September 13th, both of us. So I think we are one of those unique couples where when you wake up in the morning, you say, "Happy birthday, my love." And she says, "Happy birthday to you too, Standosami." How about that? Moses.
Yeah, Moses. There is something to it, right? Being born on the same day. I wonder if there's competition to outgift each other. Not in terms of value, but perhaps in terms of how meaningful the present was that particular year.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Let's catch up now with the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Belle.
It's one way to make sure you never forget the missus's birthday, hey? Being born on the same day.
Yeah. But also maybe a curse, because it's not just one day. It's birthday week, Birthday week when it's your birthday. Not just one day, Bongles.
All right, the slower steps. This is something that, we've all had to contend with at some point, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, it hits you kind of sort of just suddenly when you you kind of notice it, right? So when you notice that your parents are starting to age, and this TikTok video we're going to play was posted by a guy called Eddie Kimani, which I found quite interesting. So let's take a listen to what he has to say about when you first notice the aging and your parents.
The first time you notice your parents aging, it's not a grand moment, eh? It's small things. They walk a little slower, they repeat a story that you just heard yesterday or an hour ago. The once confident hands now shakes slightly as they pour tea. And in that moment it hits you. The people who once carried you through life now are leaning on you. It's a quiet, humbling shift. You remember the strength in their grip when they taught you how to ride a bike. Now, it's softer as they reach for your arm when you're crossing the street. You see the spark in their eyes, still there but behind it. A tiredness that you never noticed before. And somewhere in the middle of all this, you think about the friendships that have drifted away, the friends you swore that you'd grow old with, but somehow you've lost time. Caring for parents in this season can be quite lonely, even as it's filled with love. So you hold them a little bit longer. You listen to that familiar story again and again. Because one day, even the pauses, the silences, and the slowness will be what you miss the most. And you'll wish for just one more walk, one more laugh, one more hand in yours. Remember, it's a mindset thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been there, it hits you hard, that, right? And it's, and I mean, I suppose at the end of the day, Bongles, it's the circle of life, where the child becomes the carer and you look after your parents, and it's the right thing to do. But it has its difficulties as well, it can have its frustrations for some people. But yeah, I think he speaks some really, true words there. So I wanted to ask this morning to our 702 family, if you've been in that situation, or maybe you are, you're starting to notice it. What were the first kind of signs for you where you started noticing, my parents, my dad, my mom, they're not quite what they used to be. I'm noticing something here. And how did it make you feel as well? Because to deal with that realization is a difficult thing as well. You almost kind of try and ignore it as much as you can, but you can't.
Absolutely. Many of us are called the sandwich generation, where we look after our kids and we look after our parents, and you see the strength of the one beginning to emerge and the fragility of the other. And it's a really, really interesting thing and a way of negotiating and navigating life. That's what's gone viral with Kabazela.
EWN Traffic.
Now, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got delays on the M1 North. In fact, it's a stop and go between Boysons Road all the way towards Greyston Drive. This is due to peak time pressure while traveling on the N3 North. Roadworks near the Baklu turnoff. Delays from Modderfontein Road. I'll have more updates. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Explore the wonders of Mpumalanga. Discover the ultimate wildlife experience that brings you closer to nature. An adrenaline rush with endless adventures. 4x4 routes. Hike the Blyde River Canyon, the third largest in the world. Unwind the spectacular landscapes and majestic waterfalls. Make Mpumalanga your destination of choice. A message brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Visit mpumalanga.com for more.
Save more on the brands you love at Dis-Chem. Stay fresh and confident all day with 2+1 cheapest free on any 150ml Shield deodorants and 50ml roll-ons. And treat your hair with our fantastic 2+1 cheapest free on any Tresemme hair care products. Plus enjoy 2+1 cheapest free on any Lifebuoy products. T's and C's apply. Don't miss out. Offers valid until 19 October. Only at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
It's almost time for Santon's best-kept secret to be revealed. Step into an exclusive world of style at the Calvin Klein and Tommy Hilfiger VIP sample sale at the Leonardo. Discover limited prices, rare samples, and iconic fashion finds you won't get anywhere else. Legacy Lifestyle members are invited to an exclusive first look on Thursday, 25 September, and doors open to the public from Friday, 26 to Sunday, 28 September.
Experience extraordinary with the new iPhone 17, 256 gig from Vodacom, Zanzi's winning 5G network. More delightful, more durable, and now available. Get yours on a 3 gig Red Core plan from $899 per month over 36 months, plus a free extended warranty. Be the first to get it today. Available in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Further together. Vodacom.
Naked people are popular at Bry's because naked people spend less money on insurance premiums. They have more money for T-bone steaks. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
This is EWN.
The Crown Court to hear arguments in a case that could lead to major changes in sexual offences laws, and Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas will address world leaders at the UN. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Constitutional Court could confirm a crucial ruling on rape and consent today. The arguments will largely focus on various provisions of Sexual Offences Act, including the sexual offence of rape. An anti-gender-based violence NPO says for the first time in the country's history, sexual assault victims could truly be protected by the law. The Crown Court proceedings follow a landmark judgment handed down by the Pretoria High Court related to believed consent in sexual offence cases. Carlo Peterson takes a look.
Earlier this year, the Pretoria High Court ruled that believed consent can no longer be used as a defence for rape accused. NPO, the Embrace Project, says the ruling means rape suspects won't be able to rely on a subjective belief that consent was given by a complainant. Director Leanne Germanos Manuel.
The Pretoria High Court handed down judgment declaring certain provisions in the Sexual Offences Act unconstitutional and ordered a reading in that would require that, going forward, an accused person show that they took objectively reasonable steps to ascertain that the complainant consented to sexual conduct.
Germanos Manuel says subject to the Crown Court's ruling, the judgment could significantly improve conviction rates in rape cases. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
KwaZulu-Natal's Transport Department is set to announce urgent safety interventions for scholar transport following a series of road crashes that claimed the lives of 5 children. Transport MEC Sboniso Duma is expected to outline the department's response during a media briefing at the provincial legislature in Pietermaritzburg today. Planned interventions will include strict regulations for vehicles transporting pupils, increased law enforcement visibility, and targeted roadworthiness inspections. Transport Department spokesperson Dabezinhle Sibia.
The MEC has invited members of the fourth estate to a media briefing that will reflect on strengthening of law enforcement to deal with the violation of the National Road Traffic Act. The MEC has also indicated that in the media briefing he will outline interventions on scholar transport following accidents that resulted in the death of 5 learners in Pietermaritzburg.
And taking a look at newsmaking international headlines, Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas will address the United Nations virtually today after the United States denied him a visa to attend this week's General Assembly in person. The 89-year-old Palestinian Authority president will address the UN General Assembly 3 days after France led a special summit in which a slew of Western nations recognized a state of Palestine. U.S. President Donald Trump's administration has adamantly rejected statehood. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed not to allow a Palestinian state, and far-right members of his cabinet have threatened to annex the West Bank in a bid to kill any prospect of true independence. Many leaders, including President Cyril Ramaphosa, reiterated the need for Palestinian statehood.
South Africa reiterates its firm commitment to the creation of a contiguous Palestinian state existing peacefully side by side with the State of Israel.
And Russia says it will continue its war in Ukraine and has rejected U.S. President Donald Trump's claim that Kyiv's army could retake territory seized by Russian forces. The Kremlin has also pushed back at Trump's characterization of Russia as a paper tiger. Trump's remarks, which followed talks with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the United Nations, were a major pivot in his stance on the 3.5-year conflict, which he had at one point boasted that he could end in hours. Russia launched its all-out offensive on Ukraine in February 2022 when its forces tried to capture the capital Kyiv, and Putin publicly called for Zelensky to be toppled. The conflict has since killed tens of thousands of people, devastated much of eastern and southern Ukraine, and forced millions to flee their homes. Zelensky has again told world leaders at the United Nations to rally against Russia.
We must use everything we have together to force the aggressor to stop. And only then do we have a real chance that this arms race will not end in catastrophe for all of us. If it takes weapons to do it, if it takes pressure on Russia, then it must be done.
Gold is trading at $3,738.83 an ounce. The rand is at 17.33 to the dollar, 23.32 to the pound, 20.35 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $69.01 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident in Protea Glen on the R558. It's right near the N12. It's causing delays. Main Road is also affected due to the scene. Please be on the lookout there. While traveling on the M1 South, we've got some delays between the Baklu interchange and Marlborough Drive due to peak time delays.
And in your sport, the top 3 Premiership sides drop points, including Sundowns, who suffered their first loss of the season. European Ryder Cup captain Luke Donald says his team is playing for more than prize money, taking a jibe at USA, whose players are being paid to compete. And All Blacks without Scott Barrett for Saturday's game with Australia.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with scattered showers and thundershowers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 21 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: the Constitutional Court could confirm a crucial High Court ruling on rape and consent today.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 8 o'clock, quite a lot on the go at the moment. This Constitutional Court ruling about what constitutes rape, what constitutes consent, may go a long way in helping the country's sexual assault victims be better protected by the law. There's some practical things to consider here. You must have taken reasonable steps to obtain consent. It can't just be something that you believe in your head. And it raises all sorts of tricky things over particularly a long-term relationship and what consent might actually mean. And I think couples perhaps need to start talking about that and be clear when consent is withdrawn. And it may not be something that is always to be assumed.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 after 8. It was a busy day in New York this week as world leaders gathered at the United Nations General Assembly number 80, UNGA 80. And I want to remind you now the speech that was made by the US President Donald Trump, a fiery one, attacking the UN and urging nations to adopt his MAGA-style approach on migration, even climate change, which he referred to as a hoax.
In the United States, we reject the idea that mass numbers of people from foreign lands can be permitted to travel halfway around the world, trample our borders, violate our sovereignty, cause unmitigated crime, and deplete our social safety net. It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now. See, I can tell you. I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell.
Your countries are going to hell. I'm really good at this stuff. Well, a rebuttal, if you will, was from the Kenyan president, William Ruto, who called out, for example, Africa's exclusion from the permanent membership of the Security Council, saying this undermines the UN's credibility. It's an argument that isn't being made by African leaders for the first time. What difference it will make, I wonder.
You cannot claim to be the United Nations while disregarding the voice of 54 nations. It is not possible. Africa is no longer willing to wait on the margins of global governance while decisions about peace, security, and development are made without our understanding, without our perspectives, and without our voice. Africa's exclusion is not only unacceptable, unfair, and grossly unjust, it also undermines the very credibility of the United Nations, this organization. Africa dominates most of the Security Council agenda, provides some of the largest contingents of UN peacekeeping forces, and bears the heaviest costs of instability. Yet we remain the only continent without a permanent seat at the main table where decisions about our destiny are made.
Yeah, the South Americans might have a different view as far as that is concerned, right? The other story we're asking you to respond to is the Kruger Park, a new name row. That's the front page of the Citizen and how they've described it. From Skukuza from the Kruger National Park to now the Skukuza National Park. Critics are saying there will be an economic fallout. Visitors will get confused. This is a winning brand. If it's not broken, why change it? Where are you on that? Kabazela wants to know, when did you first begin to notice your parents were becoming frail? Peter, you're in Bedford View. Do we need this name change?
Good morning, Bongani. No, absolutely not. It's basically a brand name. It's the brand Kruger National Park. Millions have been spent over the years in popularizing the name. Lots of tourists have come and visited it, and that is basically where the bottom line is. Would you change the name of Coca-Cola tomorrow? It is the same thing. It is a brand name, very prominent, and we don't want to lose that. We want people to come and see what we have got and boost our economy. That's my opinion.
Peter, let me play devil's advocate and say, but surely people don't come for the name. They come to see the animals. They want the national park experience. They would continue going as much as they would if we were to rename the Serengeti tomorrow to, I don't know, the Arab Moy Park. People would still go to the Serengeti and probably even still call it the Serengeti, as I suspect they will still call the Kruger despite the name change.
No, I appreciate that, but nobody would know where it is. I mean, if you say Serengeti, I know immediately where it is. If you say Arab Moy, I have no idea where that is. The same with the Kruger Park. When you say Kruger Park, it is here. When being from here, if you say Skukuza, I know the area and I know that it is a part of the Kruger Park. But people across the world, I mean, you know, it takes lots of effort and money to build a brand name and then to kill it off just overnight. It's short-sighted. I mean, what is in the name?
Peter, in Bedford View, would a rose smell as sweet by another name? It's the perennial question, is it not? And I think if you even were to Google where the Kruger Park is, and the thing that would come up is formerly known as, now called, and boom, you continue. Or is that being simplistic? I'd love to hear from a brand expert about what this kind of decision does and whether or not the people who are saying it'll drive away the tourists are right or not.
I noticed that my dad was getting old when it was my younger brother's birthday, and my mom says to him, it's Andy's birthday, and my dad is like, how do you know? And he was quite adamant about it, looking Kempton Park.
Bongani, the what's gone viral this morning really touched me. It reminds me of my late dad who taught me how to drive. Up until my 40s, he would coach me every corner, tell me to not forget to indicate. But the day I saw him going quiet, not saying much, that's when I knew that age had caught up with him. And you know what? I really miss that. I really miss that coaching. Even now, after all these years, I just hear his voice telling me, be careful, there's a car stopping in front of you. Nkazi here in Kempton.
So my mother had always been that glamorous girl, right? I mean, she still is. I've told the story of her going to buy makeup during lockdown because her makeup had run out. COVID be damned, right? And I remember it must have been a good maybe 15 years or so ago, perhaps even earlier. I bought her shoes for her birthday because I love women's shoes and clearly I can't wear them. So I always buy shoes for the women in my life, and I bought her a pair of shoes, and the heel was a very slight. It was almost like a
kitten. A kitten.
Yeah, but it was a very slight little thing, but it was raised a little. Beautiful pair of shoes. I mean, the kind that I thought, oh, she would die for. And she couldn't wear it. She said it had a heel. I've got to remember, my mother used to wear stilettos, as in those sharp stilettos, you know. I mean, when she walked anywhere, you knew those footsteps. You know, she had a powerful gait. And you just, I think it was the first time, and I was really in some denial and shock for quite some time. And I thought, don't you like the shoes? What do you mean you can't wear them? Don't you like them?
Yeah.
But over time, your parents become frail. And it's a difficult one to adjust to, because this person who'd always been strong, always been able, just suddenly isn't able to do those things, hey?
Yeah. I don't think for me it was one particular event that made me realize my parents were aging. I mean, they're not that old. My mom just turned 60 this month. But it's those small things, like she's constantly telling me the same story over and over and over again. She's forgot. And Mom, we had this conversation a week ago. She says, that's not possible. I'm pretty sure we did. So she'll tell me the same stories over and over and over and over again. And that for me over time has just been that unkind reminder.
All right, let's talk to Nogo in Bedfordview. You're a teacher and you want to share about what happens in our classrooms. Good morning.
Morning. Hey, man, yes, you know, you're talking about the single parents who are heading the family or whatever. I'm talking about the child-headed kids who are really wounded, kids who don't have system in place, you know. When one wakes up, there's no one to guide you what to do. And we have a lot of those kids. How I so wish that we can have social development, maybe partnering with businesses, just to have them at home where they come back and they're able to be guided, where there are homework centers, and we collaborate with the things of teaching them manners and all those kind of things. Because I can assure you, Bongani is a losing battle. It doesn't help to place 10,000 rehab centers for drugs, but you're not dealing with the cause of the problem. These kids are wounded. These kids, they don't have anyone to guide them. And most of them, they are born by the 2000s. The 2000s, they don't have time. They just have time to do their nails when they get that 350. And what is the government saying? Can we make at least a campaign where we are able to see to it that when they come back from school, there's somewhere to go to? And let them, at least 1% out of many will get grounds of good manners and all those kind of things. But if we are waiting to react and come up with 10,000 centers for drugs, I don't think it is helping. You know, I have my own child sister. It's not because I'm a single parent and I fail somewhere. It's because they have their own wounds, which you can't even heal. And remember, a child who has lost both parents, even if you try to fill that bucket, which is bottomless, will never do it because they are ever so not happy with everything. So if those kind of kids can have somewhere to go to and be able to be grounded and given all those things that are like how to behave, doing homework, getting this kind of fun things, reading and all that. And that's what one is trying to do, I can assure you.
Yeah.
Most of the schools, they don't have
you've,
that.
you've hit the nail on the head, because we often look at the problem when it's too late. We react to it, right? And there are so many layers to this thing, right? You talk about missing parents, absent parents. What about these child-headed homes? And sometimes the parents are physically there, but completely absent in terms of their interest and engagement in the lives of their own kids. That is one of those issues that I just will never find a way to understand.
EWN Traffic.
Right, let's catch up with traffic. It's 19 after 8. Amo?
Bongani, delays on the N3 North between Van Buren and the Kilulis interchange, as well as on the N3 North between Modderfontein Road and the Baklu turnoff due to roadworks, while on the M1 South, some delays between the Baklu interchange and Marlborough Drive. Peak time pressure there. Please be on the lookout. I'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Time for a performance review of my FNB Gold business account. Giving my business up to 30% back in e-bucks at Pick n Pay. No other card does this. It's real money back on expenses. I can even use e-bucks to buy supplies from Take-A-Lot. I must give you a corner office, but you're a bank card.
The FNB Gold business account. No other card works harder for your business because saving you costs is worth it. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and earn rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
For your small business? The Hollywood Foundation is here to make them a reality with the Bambelela Business Awards. SMMEs in Gauteng. This is your chance to grab a share of 1 million rand in funding. The awards recognize and reward the contributions small businesses make to growing and transforming our economy. Submit your entries today. Applications close on 4 October 2025. Submissions will be reviewed by a panel of expert judges. Enter now at www.hollywoodfoundation.co.za.
You've reached in his Renault Duster en route to Dullstrom. This journey is taking to try a sport far more boring than its name might suggest. Fly. Fishing. He'll be in his Renault Duster, which he bought with 40,000 rand trade-in assistance.
Leave it all behind in the new Renault Duster with 40,000 rand trade-in assistance. Offer exclusive to Renault Financial Services. Product of APSA. T's and C's apply.
702 and corporates that care with Netcare are talking about Netcare's My Walk Made with Soul initiative.
This was an initiative that began in 2015, and a lady by the name of Delani Bezadenhout visited us and said, look, I hear Netcare is very involved in sustainability initiatives. Would you be interested in recycling your intravenous drip bags because they're made of a toxic material called PVC? And in passing, she said to me, you know, possibly we could also make shoes. My appeal is that we've handed out 328,000 pairs of shoes. And so my appeal is for South Africans to get together and come onto our website, mywalk.org.za, and donate the cost of a cappuccino. Maybe you can donate 10 shoes.
Netcare, helping future leaders step into greatness. Visit mywalk.org.za to learn more. 702. Let's walk the talk.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongs and the 702 Landers. Bongs, when it comes to consent, yes, you are correct. It's a thing that couples need to discuss a lot, and not just long-term couples, but everybody, actually, the entire society. But with the laws, honestly, I think changing the laws is not going to change society. What will change society is going out there, communicating, making it known, having such conversations not so taboo, for lack of a better word. People having those difficult conversations of consent, or what a yes or a no is. Having conversations to get victims to come out quicker. Having conversations about gender-based violence, that will change and help society, not the law changes, because that's just one part.
Yeah, I mean, of course, all couples need to negotiate, and perhaps it goes without saying that people at the start of a relationship are having those conversations much more than people in long-term relationships. I think the point I was making was that there are a lot of assumptions that can be made when people have been together over a period of time. And even there, I think conversations need to be had. Mlifa, you want to talk about the Kruger Park name change quickly, short and sharp?
Hi, Bongani, how are you?
I'm good, Mlifa. Go ahead.
Yes. I don't think it should be a problem for the name to be changed. I think those that want it to be kept like that, it's just a matter of sentimental values they have on the name. I think the name change over time, it will be known. I mean, look at the country, Ivory Coast. Today we're used to the name Cote d'Ivoire. And if you remember also Neotel. Neotel was one of, it is one of the biggest network companies whatsoever. And today it's called Liquid. And we know that. And Google Maps, sorry?
No, I get the point. Brand names change all the time. People will get used to this one. What's the big deal, says Mulifa in Pretoria. Colin, do you agree?
No, not exactly, Bongani. There's another name that comes to mind, Maslow. Now you want to focus on changing Kruger National Park when we have so much of other. I mean, it's coming from a brand. The cost for that is going to be enormous for the country. People don't realize how much it took to build a brand. Now leave Kruger National Park. We have so much. If you look at Maslow's theory of needs, there's no water, there's no shelter. Now we're going to focus on changing a name. We can get back to that later. Let's focus on the problem. I mean, look at the court talking about the rape in the country, the crime. We get very distracted by these things when we should all put our energy, put our budget into changing the main thing that is crime. That's what I think.
All right. Colin says we've got bigger problems. Surely the Kruger National Park should be at the bottom of the list of things we want to deal with urgently.
702. The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
All right, let's catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam, let's start with the Greek Watergate. Wide-range spying claims?
Yeah, that's what they're calling it. Well, they're calling it the Greek Watergate, if only in Greece itself. But yeah, we're talking spyware, software, Greek intelligence agents allegedly targeting the mobile phones of government ministers, senior military officers, judges and journalists, that they gained access to messages, microphones, cameras. The Prime Minister, Kyriakos Mitsotakis, called it a scandal, but no government officials have been charged, no agents brought to book. Instead, in quite a low-ranking court, misdemeanor charges have been heard against 2 Greeks and 2 Israelis. So, excuse me, the Greek government has put in new laws on confidentiality and surveillance, but will we find out who was spying on whom? Where did the information go? And does this all smack a little bit of a cover-up, just a tiny bit?
And what was done with that information, importantly. Now tell me about this extraordinary 13-year-old from Afghanistan, it's believed.
Yes, he snuck into the landing gear of a passenger plane and flew 1,000 kilometers in 90 minutes off to Delhi in India from Kabul in Afghanistan. He was found wandering on the tarmac near where the plane had parked up, dressed only in the traditional Indian smock, the kurta pajama. Relevant because, of course, what he'd endured up in the air. Apparently, he'd intended, out of curiosity, to sneak onto a plane to Iran, but ended up in the wrong landing gear. I mean, doesn't that happen all the time? The thing is, those who do stow away on planes tend to use the wheel well as the most obvious one, but 77% of those who try this have died, crushed to death or starved of oxygen or frozen to death, frostbite and hypothermia when at altitude. So this lad is one lucky 13-year-old, albeit he is back in the Taliban's Afghanistan.
See a movie from this. Who's your favorite fat bear, Adam?
Yeah, it sounds like a chat-up line, doesn't it? A really dodgy chat-up line, but still. We have Fat Bear Week underway in Alaska, where they are gauging the adequate fatness of bears as they prepare for winter hibernation. So if you go on the site explore.org, I challenge you not to, you will see photos of fat bears gorging themselves on salmon in the river and that sort of stuff. So you get to choose your favorite. They have a kind of bear off each week, or each day, where one bear versus the other, who's your favorite? A bear called Grazer has won 2 Fat Bear titles. Another called Chunk came second. Both are in the running for this year, along with a chubby cub called Little Miss Biggie. So you get to vote on explore.org when Canada is awake, I have to say, or Alaska is awake, because you can't vote right now. You'd have to wait until, I guess, late evening, something like that. But do you know what? Once you go on it, it is fascinating. Who doesn't love a fat bear?
We'll have to leave it for this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
Diamonds are not just a best friend for girls. No Kanya Mdambo. Botswana says.
Well, Botswana as
yes.
well. Yeah, so the country is now doubling down on its bid to get De Beers controlling stake by next month, and that comes as negotiations with the diamond company's controlling shareholder continues. Anglo American is looking to divest its 85% stake in De Beers, which mines most of its gems in the southern African nation. This is part of a restructuring process that began 16 months ago. The London-listed miner has waited to sell its diamond unit amid a prolonged slump in the natural stones market, which is grappling with fierce competition from much cheaper lab-grown alternatives. Diamonds account for 80% of export sales and about a third of government revenue in Botswana. And the Botswana government is also still among countries negotiating with the US, the biggest buyer of natural gems, to remove tariffs on diamonds.
Gosh, not forever, are they, De Beers? Speaking of the US, the Fed Chair Jerome Powell can't seem to catch a break.
No, he can't. And some in the Trump administration, Bongani, never miss a chance when it comes to taking jabs at Powell, always making sure to push him even further out the door. This time, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says he's looking for someone with an open mind to be the next chair of the Federal Reserve, as he interviews 11 candidates to replace Powell when his term ends next May. Regardless of who gets the job, though, the Trump administration is already calling for Fed reforms, which they say would reestablish the central bank's credibility as an independent institution. The Fed lowered its benchmark rate by 25 basis points last week, its first cut of 2025, and Jerome Powell has been the target of repeated White House attacks for not cutting the rates much sooner.
Where's the rand?
At 17.33 to the dollar this hour, 20.35 to the euro, 23.31 to the pound. Gold is trading at $3,737 an ounce, platinum at $1,481. The price of Brent crude at $69.09. That's all we have. Catch The Money Show with Stephen Krotis later this evening.
Time now for your latest eyewitness news. Straight to the news desk we go. Sfiso Zulu, what do you have? And of course, don't forget, we are going to be giving away more tickets to the Joy of Jazz. Sfiso.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Parts of KwaZulu-Natal are experiencing another day of heavy rain as it continues to hit communities this morning. The South African Weather Service has issued warnings for disruptive rainfall across the province. Disaster management teams, municipal officials and emergency services have been placed on standby. KZN's Cooperative Governance Department spokesperson Senzelo Mzila.
Yesterday we experienced inclement weather conditions with heavy rains that affected large parts of the province. We had a level 4 weather warning for disruptive rain, and it rained for large parts of the day. We had major roads that were closely guarded. There were accidents that were on our roads, and emergency teams were kept busy with that.
Meanwhile, the South African Weather Service forecaster Ali Tlogonolo Thobela says the weather is expected to clear up later today.
So today it's just mainly the northern part, and the good news is that it remains in the early morning and into the afternoon. We should see some clearing over most parts of those areas. No weather warnings are to be issued between today and tomorrow. So in KwaZulu-Natal for today, to be mainly the northern parts, just north of Richards Bay, that you can still expect some rain into the afternoon.
Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi says more than 100 centres will soon open across the province to deal with substance abuse. He says the move forms part of a wider provincial effort to address the rising number of young people addicted to drugs. Speaking during Heritage Day celebrations in Kagiso yesterday, Lesufi revealed that the province currently has the highest number of youth drug users in the country.
It's a number of children that are going through drug abuse. I went through the statistics. They are indeed shocking. There is a generation that has a potential to be wiped off completely if we can't stand up.
2 men arrested for possession and suspected dealing in dagga are expected to appear in the Makado Magistrates Court today. The pair, aged 20 and 45, were caught by the SAPS flying squad during a routine crime prevention patrol on the N1 in Limpopo earlier this week. The police's Lulani Mashaba says officers stopped a car and during their search they discovered 2 bags of dagga.
The pair are expected to appear before Makado Magistrate Court on Thursday, the 25th of September 2025, for possession and dealing in dagga.
And 7 Buddhist monks have died in a cable car accident. The rail car snapped and crashed down a mountainside in northwestern Sri Lanka. 13 monks were crammed into the small makeshift cabin as they headed to meditation units within the vast Ayana Forest monastery last night. The deceased were from countries including India, Russia and Romania. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng today with scattered showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 21 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North between Modderfontein Road and the Baklu interchange due to roadworks. There's also queuing traffic along the Mike-1 North. This is between the Crown interchange and Car Street. Peak time delays there while traveling in the city of Tshwane. A slight backup reported really along the N14 North approaching Euphis Road.
The top story this hour, heavy rains continue to hit communities in KZN.
What was known as the Swimming Pool Road in Everton West due to severe waterlogging is now a safely engineered road. When the National Department of Transport called on SANRAL for help, we showed up, upgrading it to the highest standards of safety and quality. Today, the community of Mfuleni local municipality have an access road that they can rely on and be proud of. SANRAL, an agency of the Department of Transport.
The Music and Lifestyle Expo 2025 comes alive on the 14th and 15th November at Sandton Convention Center. So this year's theme is diversity of the arts. Celebrate trade, music, fashion, food, lifestyle. It's a vibrant 2-day experience. Jonathan Butler, Lira, Thandiswa Mazwai, Ringo, Luandunkulu, The Muffins, Ndushezi, and the Major League DJs. Tickets now at ticketpro.co.za. Proudly endorsed by the G20 Summit, the Music and Lifestyle Expo 2025.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for general practitioners, dentists, surgeons, and other medical specialists. Kuveni.
It's so nice to know the business risk is taken care of by Business Outsurance. The call center is just a dream to deal with. Very seamless, easy experience, and it just feels like the people we're talking to on the other line understand our needs.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
The Akani Simbine Foundation is dedicated to building brighter futures for children by focusing on sport, education and welfare. This Friday on 702 Drive, they'll be in conversation with the Akani Simbine Foundation to find out how they're uplifting the next generation and how the Discam Foundation is helping fuel their mission to empower South Africa's youth. Don't miss this inspiring discussion about the power of collaboration. Remember, every swipe of your Discam or Discam Baby City Benefit card supports many great initiatives across the country. The Discam Foundation, caring for the community. Every swipe counts. Only on 702.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hey, how's it, Bongani? How's it, 702 land? It's been a minute. It's Stephen here. Gayton McKenzie, and now he's ready to work with the DA. Doesn't want to work with the ANC because Kenny Kunene has been cleared. And this is the same Gayton McKenzie who said, no, we're suspending Gayton, but we know he will be cleared because it'll be an independent investigation. Now, who did they speak to? It was one of the big Sandton law firms. They just spoke to Kenny's mates. They didn't speak to anyone else. I mean, Gayton, I like your jokes as much as anyone, but come on. If you want us to take you seriously, you're going to have to do more than that. Thanks, Bongani. Check you later. Cheers.
I mean, he's loyal, if nothing else, right? Loyal to his friend, not to the voters. I mean, yeah. The more things change, the more they stay the same. I would say, Stephen, this leopard has definitely not changed its spots.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. Trust you guys are blessed. Just checking Panyaza Lesufi from the ANC. Proud at 100 centers for drug addicts will be opened. Duh. Where's the police to stop it at the root? This is ANC. Thank you. Bye-bye.
What did I say a moment ago? The more things change, the more they stay the same.
EWN Sport.
Well, actually, things are not the same at the top of the Betway Premiership table.
This is true.
Right?
This is true.
But who did say the more things change, the more they stay the same?
Bongani Bingwa.
No, okay. I was thinking of Chinoa Chibi, but that's all things fall
That's
apart.
things fall up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Centered not holding.
Varsity 101.
Picking up from John Milton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just get into the sport because otherwise people are going to be on the YouTube going, can these two just actually talk sport for a change? Because they just want to know that Sekekone is still top of the Premiership table despite a 1-1 draw with Chipper. They want to know that Sundowns failed to go top after suffering a first league defeat. They lost 1-0 to Arrows. And they want to hear that third on the table, Kaizer Chiefs finished 1-0 with Gallants and Chiefs' interim coach, Khalil Ben Yusuf, who would not answer any of the personnel or coaching questions, by the way, he was asked. And the person hosting the PSL briefing said that is a question for senior management and not the fill-in coach. Fair enough. But anyway, he says that Kaizer Chiefs deserve the win.
We discussed in the meeting before the game the importance of this game to come back first for the confidence for the team. Second, also the opportunity to come back in the first or the second position. Like I said, the performance was good today, but the result wasn't. We have to continue to work and to think forward. For us today, this season, every game is cup game. We have to play to win. Then the result, inshallah, will be better.
Stellenbosch goalless with Durban City. Richards Bay and Orbit College beat Magesi and Polokwane. In the League Cup, the fourth round draw has 4 all Premier League ties. Newcastle against Spurs, Arsenal are hosting Brighton, Liverpool face Palace, and Chelsea are away at Wolves. Manchester City got Swansea. Last night, City beat Huddersfield 2-0, Spurs beat Doncaster 3-0, Arsenal got Passport Vale 2-0. Eze actually getting his first Gunners goal there. And Newcastle cruised past Bradford, as you would expect, 4-1. All Blacks won't have their captain, Scott Barrett, for the Rugby Championship clash with Australia due to a shoulder injury. He's replaced by Fabian Holland. It's one of 5 changes to the side that lost to the Springboks. Ardie Sevilla will captain the side on Saturday that now has Cam Roygaard, Caleb Clark and Cody Taylor all back. Here's coach Scott Robertson.
Scott Barrett's shoulder, he hurt it last week and played and finished the game with a shoulder injury, and you know, he's so mentally and physically tough for him not to play this. It's pretty hard not to see his name up there, but he's just not quite right for this weekend and pushing to get back for next weekend's test.
In golf, the 2025 Ryder Cup starts tomorrow at Bethpage Black in New York with Europe the defending champions. World number 1, Scotty Scheffler, was part of the USA team that lost by 5 in Rome 2 years ago. He says you have to move forward.
I think you can always learn from those experiences, and I think that would be the best way that I could describe it is how much I learned from the experience in Rome, how much I learned from the experience at Whistling Straits, and I feel like I have a large bank of knowledge over the course of my career that I can use to my advantage, especially when things get tough. And I don't think it can be understated how difficult of a week Rome was for us. I think we could have done better for sure. That wasn't how I expected the week to go. We're as prepared as ever this time.
With his hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'm sure he'll find a way.
It's actually interesting. It's the first time either team's
Side,
players are getting paid, and it's only USA that's getting paid. Europe's like, no, we're here for the passion, the pride. So 300,000 to charity, 200,000 to yourself. Maybe. No, I'm not going to say what I want to say. Should I just say it?
3 odd million rand and some change. I'd take it.
Should I just say it?
I'd find the passion.
Maybe the Team USA were like, if we're going to lose and we have to cry, we'd just like to wipe our tears with $100 bills. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
All right, let's catch up with traffic news. 8 to 9, our final traffic update for the morning. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got some delays on the N3 North between Van Buren and the Kilulis interchange, and those roadworks are still causing delays between Modderfontein Road and the Baklu interchange on the N3 North. If you are traveling towards Sandton, delays on the Mark 1 North just as you approach Greyston Drive, and please do remember to be on the lookout for those roadworks in Boksburg along the N17 West, causing delays between Carnival City and the R21 turnoff. I'll have more updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Bring into colour with Stoddles Garden Centres. Brighten your garden with Stoddles seeds at R9.99 and feed and feed with your 30 DM compost. Feed your plants with 30 DM compost, 4 bags for just 100 Rand. Visit Stodell's Garden Centres in Bryanston, Menlo Park or Ferndale and transform your garden into a lively, colourful paradise. Hurry, the sale ends 28 September. Stodell's, create happiness.
Beyond the roads they built, beyond the maps they drew, lies a place only the bold will know, where mountains rise like giants and rivers test your will. With a 2.4-litre turbo diesel and off-road capability, the GWM tank was born for this. Venture further in the Tank 300 from only $7,999 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. GWM, go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank and authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
Hey, no longer feeling like the man you used to be?
The man who has inside jokes with complete strangers.
The fact is, 95% of men with low testosterone go untreated.
Vitamin High Performance Supplements for men helps recharge energy, regain lean muscle, and reload performance. Available at all good pharmacies and Vitalamin.co.za.
Vitalamin. Don't get older. Get better.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
A year in, what do we think we've learned so far about how people behave in the two-pot system?
It does seem to be accessed for emergency use. And what we've also seen is there seems to be a trend where individuals that have withdrawn from the two-pot system do it again.
Mike Atzets is the Global Chief Investment Officer at Momentum Investments.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Curtis is brought to you by ABSA CIB, banking on local growth with Club Med South Africa to bring the first resort of its kind to the country, opening a new chapter for tourism and supporting growth in the hospitality industry. ABSA is a registered FSP. Your story matters.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Africa's premier jazz festival takes place on the 26th, 27th and 28th of September 2025. This is at the Sandton Convention Center. An exciting lineup of headlining jazz stars. We have double tickets for Saturday, 27 September. For your chance to win, WhatsApp us a voice note to 072 702 1702. I would like you to name one of the artists performing at this year's Standard Bank Joe of Jazz. Just one. You'll win a pair of tickets. Send us a WhatsApp voice note to 072 702 1702. Now.
On the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Live in the flesh and in the studio. I've got to ask you your reaction to Gayton McKenzie. I know you spoke to him just the other day, now saying, after all, we can work with the DA.
What do I always say on air to the listeners is trust politicians at your own peril. So I'm not surprised, I guess, because they change their minds all the time. Didn't you speak to him in Mashaba after he had been saying, we will never,
ever.
And you even, I think, played him a clip of him saying, we will never. So I'm not surprised to hear that. But here's what I was surprised by. Because Kenny Kunene, I had Kenny Kunene on SABC, was it earlier this week? And he says, because I said, okay, so Gayton McKenzie threatens that if in 7 days you are not reappointed as MMC, everybody must withdraw. Right, you're withdrawing from the GNU. Is he going to resign as a minister of arts and culture? And Kenny Kunene couldn't respond to that immediately. He's like, well, I mean, surely as a leader of the PA, if you're saying we're all of you must
just
withdraw.
Johannesburg, because that's where the problem is.
Then that's not withdrawing then from the GNU. So weird. And we're going to pick up from that on the 702 open line today because he's got these live things he does on Facebook. I didn't even know Facebook has a live thing you can do. So it's like he does his live briefings on Facebook. So we'll play some of what he said yesterday and also get some listeners' thoughts on that. And then there's a story that I want us to keep a close eye on the 702 open line today. The Daily Maverick has been running this story for a while now. The chief of staff for the Minister of Social Development, Sisi Tolashe, who's 22 years old, who is the niece of the minister's special advisor. And I mean, if you look at this woman's qualification, you are going to laugh, because the position that she's been appointed for as the chief of staff, she doesn't qualify for it, even by an inch. And I see now that the Daily Maverick is reporting that this 22-year-old chief of staff for the minister has now been removed from that position so quietly, even though the department was trying to defend why she was appointed there without qualification. So I'll explain to the listeners who this woman is and what the qualifications were. But we're going to keep a close eye on this. We're trying to get a hold of the DG to explain what happened here.
Did Lumka leak it?
That's the question, isn't it? But listen, if she did, she was on the money, because this is quite shocking. This is really shocking. Between 10 and 11 o'clock, we're going to do the hanging out feature. Today, we are hanging out with my favorite jazz artist, Nomfundo Xaluva, who, by the way, will be performing at the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz this weekend. I can't wait to see her. So we're going to get to know her better between 10 and 11 o'clock.
Please play Itembalam.
Okay.
Please.
I'll see what I
Tell
can
her
do.
if I was ever to be deaf and get married again, that's the song. I would need her to perform.
Ooh, okay. I'll tell her that. At 11 o'clock, we'll do the Thursday dialogue as we wrap up the show. And today, we're going to be focusing on the 2 weeks of the Madlanga Commission. What have we learned from the testimonies of the KZN Police Commissioner, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, and the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masemula? What have they been able to back up with evidence? What have they not been able to back up with evidence? And what more evidence can we expect to back up some of the claims and allegations? That's what's coming up at 11.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Right, let's give away these tickets to the Joy of Jazz. I'm asking you the simple question: name one of the artists performing at this year's Standard Bank Joy of Jazz. We've got Ishmael on the line from Garankuwa. Ishmael?
Hi, Bongani. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Give me my answer to my question.
Sia Makuzeni.
Sia Makuzeni performing at the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz. Are you a fan?
Come again?
Are you a fan?
Yes, I'm a fan.
And who are you going to go with? If I give you these tickets, who will you take?
My wife.
Ah, good man. Good answer. Ishmael, congratulations. You've won a pair of tickets to the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz happening this weekend. Yours are for Saturday, the 27th of September. Stay on the line and the producers will get your details.
Calling all wedding planners and venues, restaurants, conference centers, and hotels. Do you need tables and chairs? Home in One has it all. Do you need cutlery, crockery, table linen, and restaurant equipment? Home in One has it all. Do you need tents, gazebos, or umbrellas? Home in One has it all. Affordable prices, the latest trends, with 2 branches in Pretoria and Johannesburg. Shop online at homein1.co.za, because we're your #1 choice. Home in One has it all.
Sell your car now and get paid instantly. There's no waiting when it comes to We Buy Cars. Simply complete the online form on webuycars.co.za to get started. Looking for your next ride? Explore thousands of vehicles with finance and all the extras available online and in store. Whether buying or selling, We Buy Cars has what you need.
When I say insurance, you say pineapple. Insurance.
Pineapple.
Insurance.
Pineapple.
Insurance.
Pineapple.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
702 and corporates that care with Tracker are talking about Tracker's partnership with Matthew, an initiative helping South Africa's future leaders succeed in maths and science.
We have been part of this incredible country for the last 29 years. South Africa has helped us grow into the organisation that we are and has helped us be part of the economy of this country. So fundamentally, we now have to give back. We have to make sure that not just for the last 29 years, but for the future 29 years, we're participating in that conversation. Secondly, Bongani, Tracker is growing exponentially at the moment. We're employing at all levels within the organisation, from top to bottom in essence. So what we're actually looking for as part of that growth fundamental is to make sure that we have the right people coming into the organisation. We can either be part of the solution or we can be part of the problem or do nothing.
Tracker, protecting futures by investing in STEM education. Visit matthew.co.za to learn more. 702, let's walk the talk.
And now,
It's back to breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 to 9. If you listen to the show, you'll know we are big supporters of the arts. And there's this renaissance, I think, that's happening with theatre in Johannesburg. You know, sometimes the biggest battles aren't fought in public, right? But in the heart of a person trying all they can to hold it together in trying circumstances. Isiwula, showing on at the Market Theatre, takes us into the life of Mapoloba, a young man who returns to his hometown after, well, at least rather, with a carefully polished mask of success. And it slowly begins to crumble under the gaze of his community. It's a story of secrets, identity, forgiveness, and the very human struggle between truth and deception. We're joined now by Nolwazi Kwabe, one of the cast members, to take us deeper into this powerful production. Nolwazi, a very good morning to you, and thank you for your time.
Good morning, Bongani. Thank you for having me.
Have I described Isiwula correctly?
You described it perfectly.
What for you impressed you or attracted you to the story?
Well, it's to be honest, it initially was because of the people that I was working with. You know, the piece was workshopped, you know, kind of, rather than having a script and saying, hey guys, we already have a script, we just like you guys to come and be performers. There was a concept, an idea of what the play would be. And so then we started discussing and it grew from there. And, you know, everyone's input and also our amazing writer, Sam Kuzwayo, director, Aliyah Matintela, as well as me and Mngwebisi Hasebe, really made the piece what it is. So yeah, it was about the people that I was working with, and then it grew into something so beautiful.
It was this idea of collaboration with all of these other artists and you finding what this play could become. So tell me about the story then of this polished mask of success that begins to crumble.
Yeah, well, essentially, it's a story about love and loss and betrayal, you know, especially in the context of that era when black men were kind of forced to leave the rural areas and go into Johannesburg, go into the cities to find work and leave their families behind. We were interested in the idea of, we've seen this with our grandmothers and some mothers and, like, you know, maybe great-grandparents. We've seen how it's all sort of an awkward thing, but you never hear them speak about it. And you wonder what the conversations are, because sometimes people start other families. You know, time goes by and the bond breaks and there's betrayal involved. So how do they reconcile and get back to being family again? It was very interesting for us because we've never heard them speak about it. We had never even seen them fight. So yeah, we explored that.
And it speaks to the idea of secrets in families and hiding failure, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that is so, like, it's such a thing. And I don't know about, like, other races, but I know in black families, it's very much like let's not talk about it. Let's not put our business out there. It's like, let's keep it here.
Tell me about the intimacy that your character develops with Mapoloba, because essentially you are the one who helps peel away that mask.
Yeah. It was so difficult, but it was also so interesting because this person she hasn't seen her husband in years. And she is, she was raised in an era where a woman you're supposed to be a good wife and you're supposed to love your husband and submit to your husband and, whatever happens, just stick by him. But at the same time, we wanted to explore the humanity. There's no way she doesn't have feelings of resentment and confusion and questions and all of these other things. And also, what if she doesn't love him anymore? So it was the roller coaster of trying to find how she feels about this man now, because I can only imagine that even she doesn't know because she wasn't expecting this. So even she's finding it in the moment. So yeah, the intimacy is so, it needs a lot of truth, and it was carefully crafted, and it needed a lot of to be handled delicately and carefully.
Isiwula means a fool, right?
Yeah, it means the fool.
What significance does that carry in terms of the layers of the production?
I think essentially, it's all that happens is really because of bad decisions that could have been avoided. Life deals us cards that aren't ideal, but we are also responsible for the decisions that we make, and the foolish decisions that we make then can have consequences where everything just goes, it just blows up. So it was that. It was, oh my goodness, it could have been so simple. It could have been avoided. But yeah.
Why should people come and see this play?
Because this play is, why should people come and see this play? Because really this play is truth. We are really trying to find the truth of these kinds of stories. And we feel like in some way or another, a lot of people can relate to this. It's also beautifully crafted, from the directing to the staging to our third eye who came in, Chris Juma, to the performance. It's such a wonderful piece of theatre that makes you feel and experience, and that takes you you feel like you're a fly in someone else's house.
All right.
It is beautiful.
Fly on the Wall experience. Isiwula is on at the Market Theatre. Get your tickets now at Web Tickets and go and see a fantastic production.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
It is indeed time for us to vamoose and get out of here. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning for the Friday edition of the show. The Clement Manyatela Show starts now.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Constitutional Court could confirm a crucial ruling on rape and consent today. The arguments will be largely focused. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Constitutional Court could confirm a crucial ruling on rape and consent today. The arguments will be largely focused on various provisions of the Sexual Offences Act, including the sexual offence of rape. An anti-gender-based violence NPO says for the first time in the country's history, sexual assault